Good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to our Drainage District Board of Directors meeting for today, January the 5th, 2016. The entire court being present, we have a quorum. Mr. Zassin.
If I may, sir, let us pray. Father God, we give you thanks for another beautiful day that you've given us today, Lord. Thank you for the new year, Lord, and the new things to come, Lord. We continue to ask that you provide us with wisdom, guidance, provide us with the peace that you know that you can only bring, Lord. So when we make decisions, we make them for the best interest of this county, Lord. We thank you for your Son, Jesus, who died on our cross. It's in his name that I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Under open forum, did anybody sign up?
No, sir.
All right. Under consent agenda, any concerns?
No, sir, no concerns today.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 5, discussion on Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 drainage project maintenance and operations. Just a quick overview. I know there was some questions late last year about the changes of the maps in our sister county, Cameron County. I believe there was a change coming in Willacy, I believe. I did speak to Mr. Larry Voice with FEMA regarding the map changes, and our county, because of our issues that we're still addressing regarding the levees, regarding some of the structures that are still being addressed with the Peñitas Pump House and other issues. They've chosen not to do our the mapping for Hidalgo County yet. However, at the beginning of the year, we're going to meet with FEMA and then look at what plans they have ahead so we can start looking at updating our FEMA map. So that's where we are right now on the FEMA map situation. I know that we had some questions regarding the status of our county and just wanted to provide the status on that. They're still on hold. Nothing's happening in Hidalgo yet, and we're going to work this year with FEMA to see what we need to do to get those maps updated. So, okay?
All right.
I don't have anything else, Judge or Commissioners.
Okay, let's move on to item 6.
Item 6, resolution in honor of Sylvia Sanchez for her years of service with the County of Hidalgo. Before you, Judge, we have a resolution for one of our employees who recently retired this past December. Ms. Sanchez, come on up. She has served the county for over 38 years. She originally, I guess, worked at different stages in the county and then joined the district back in '98. Was here for 18 years, so a total of 18 years of the district and another 20 serving the county. So we wanted to present her a resolution, and Mr. Salazar is going to read the resolution.
Yes, sir.
For you.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Whereas Ms. Sylvia Teresa Sanchez is being honored for exceptional work and dedication to the County of Hidalgo after serving with distinction and integrity for the past 38 years in various county departments. Whereas she was born in 1948 to Ascension and Irene Valderas, a lifelong Edinburgh resident, Ms. Sanchez is a 1968 graduate of Edinburgh High School. Ms. Sanchez has 3 brothers and 3 sons of her own, Daniel, David, and Derek. And whereas Ms. Sanchez began her career with Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office in 1977, serving for 11 years, and whereas in 1989 she worked as a court coordinator for Precinct Number 4, Place 1, Justice of the Peace for 5 years for Mr. Guadalupe Garces. And whereas she was hired in 1995 as an administrative assistant for Hidalgo County Precinct Number 4 under Commissioner Guadalupe Garces for 3 years. And whereas in June 1998, she was hired as an administrative assistant for Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 under Drainage District Manager Mr. Godfrey Garza, Jr. And whereas after serving 38 years, Ms. Sanchez looks forward to spending more time with her family, including her mom, children, grandchildren, and great-grandson. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 Board of Directors hereby recognizes and honors Sylvia T. Sanchez for her outstanding service, dedication, and commitment during her 38 years of service to the community and to the citizens of Hidalgo County. And on this day, wishes her long, healthy, and fruitful retirement.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much.
I would like to thank, first of all, our board, for always being supportive of the Drainage District, especially because that's where I worked the longest. But now that I am retired, I will be spending more time with my mother, who's in a nursing home, and enjoying my family and my grandkids. So thank you again for all that you've done for us, and I wish all of you the best, and especially Mr. Raul Cecin, who is now, the director of the Drainage District, and I wish him all the luck in the world.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize my sons. David Sanchez is with the Constable's Office.
Mr. Judges, hello.
Okay, Derek Sanchez is a lieutenant with DPS.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
And Danny is with Border Patrol. So.
Would you like your kids to also be in the picture?
Thank you for your service. Appreciate it.
Oh, bless your heart, not Shannon. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, sir, item number 7.
Thank you. Request approval to issue manual payment for payment application number 3 in the amount of $53,717.40 from Jimenez Engineering Solutions, LLC, related to construction contract number ACDD 1-15-006-0602A, Precinct 1, Tijerina Rural Development and Drain Improvements, Project Engineer, Quintina Hedlund Associates, PO 627160. Everything's in order.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 8A, request approval to issue manual payment for application payment number 3 in the amount of $99,587.70 from PEGA JPS Utilities, LLC, related to construction contract number ACDD 1-15-010-07-22B, Precinct 4, Tower Road and Mile 17.5 Road, area drainage improvements. Project Engineer Noe Saldivar, Dow County Drainage District number 1, PO number 627525. Everything's in order.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 8B, acceptance certificate of substantial completion from PEGA Utilities JPS Utilities, LLC, for construction project ACDD 1-15-010-07-22B, Precinct 4, Tower Road and Mile 17.5 area drainage improvement. Again, Mr. Noe Saldivar is an engineer with the Drainage District, also the project engineer. PO 627525. Everything's in order for that.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 9, approval to issue manual payment for application for retained release in the amount of $36,955.24 from Roja Heavy Equipment, LLC, DBA Rojas Construction and Paving for construction contract number ACDD 1-14-011-04-029, Precinct 4, North Seminary Drainage Improvement, Project Engineer, Quintina Hedlund Associates, PO 625109.
Move for approval.
Everything's in order.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 10, approval of change order number 1 in the amount of $172,205 from Texas Cordia Construction related to contract number ACDD 1-15-009-07-22A, Precinct 4 Horn Road and Drainage Improvement. Project engineer Deutsche Logistics, Inc., PO 627645. Everything's in order.
Move approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 11, A, approval of change order number 1 in the amount of $80,600 from M5 Texas Enterprise LLC related contract number ACDD 1-14-028-1028, Monte Cristo and Wesco North lateral control structures. Change order is necessary to modify downstream structure to support sluice gate for the Wesco North lateral control structure. A project engineer Tesla Infrastructure Group, PO 626178, the Monte Cristo control structure, and the PO 626177 Wesco North lateral.
Approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item B, approval of supplement agreement number, what number agreement is that? Do we have that? Number 1 is the first one? Supplement agreement number 1, the agreement for professional engineering services for Precinct 1 2012 Bond and Fair Improvement Project with Tesla Infrastructure Group, approved by Board 4/9/2013. This supplemental is to introduce a sub-consultant to the project, design sub-consultant to the project. So,
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I apologize for the record. It's supplemental number 3. I apologize. It's not supplemental number 1. Supplemental number 3.
All right, sir.
Thank you. Number 12, presentation of scoring grid for the purpose of ranking ACDD-1 Board of Directors on response received in connection RFQ number ACDD-1 15-012-1211 Independent Financial Audit Services. The 3 firms that were ranked were Burt McCumber and Cortez LLP, score of 95, Long Chilton LLP, score of 86, and Patillo, Brown, and Hill LLP, a score of 84. The board wishes to rank them as stated.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in
Thank you.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, authority to negotiate letter of engagement with the number 1 ranked firm of Burt McCumber and Cortez LLP as it relates to independent financial services for the district.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much. At this time, I don't have any executive session items to present.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, sir. At this time, we'll be convening our regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court set for today, January the 5th, 2016. The entire court being present, we have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father in heaven, we come to you this morning full of hope for the new year, that it will be a good new year, and that we'll be able to carry out everything for the good of Hidalgo County. We ask you to always keep in our hearts gratitude for everything that you give us. Please bless our families, bless our nation. Please bless our leaders, the ones here and the ones all over the United States, to help lead us in the right direction. And we ask all these things in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Please remain standing in honor of a young man who gave his life representing us. A moment of silence for Staff Sergeant Michael Anthony Cinco, a 2005 graduate of Mercedes High School, assigned to the Air Force Office of Special Investigation, 11th Field Investigation Squadron. He was one of 6 Americans killed on Monday, December 21st, during a suicide bombing outside of the Bagram Air Force Base. His funeral will be held in San Antonio tomorrow. We also need to honor the memory of Antonio Cantu Garcia, Tony Garcia, former state representative and city commissioner for the city of Mercedes and a municipal judge in FAR, and World War II veteran who passed away on Christmas Eve. We also need to honor the memory of our former Hidalgo County Auditor, Mr. Manuel Cavazos, who died this weekend. He served as our auditor for 4 years under Judge Joe Evans. Thank you.
You know, Marty, because there's a chair from over here wearing red.
Balde, anybody sign?
Yes, sir, we do.
Is it a long one or?
Yes, we do have, we have 10 participants and 1 public participation form.
Then I want to put in the kids. I'm going to be moving. Okay, thank you. Moving up, items number 6C. We have some young people, some students that need to get back to school. And item number 6E is approval of the appointment of interns from the Business and Education and Technology Academy Beta in Edinburgh.
I'd like to call up Mrs. Navia Showery, please. Judge, Commissioners, this is the 5th year that the county is participating with this beta internship program, and Mrs. Showery is here with some very important people. I'm going to let her say a few words. Thank you so much for having us again this year. It's been a gift to us to be able to have our business interns practice real-life internships in Hidalgo County. We have super students, and I also would like to introduce our new principal, Dr. Nora Casares. She is with us. She has been with South Texas Independent School District for over 9 years. Dr. Casares, would you like to join me up front, please? And I'm so happy she's with us, taking time to be with the students. She really is a big supporter of our program. And we have a few parents here today also. Dr. Casares, would you like to say something?
Good morning. Thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to have our kids intern with you. You're going to give them so much, and they're going to learn so much from you. We have awesome kids at South Texas ISD. Thank you.
And then I'd like for the students who are present to come on up. Israel Peña will be placed in the purchasing department. Edgar Centeno, County Clerk's Office. Jevin Harden, Environmental Division. And Sam Campbell, who's here with his parents, with Judge Homer Garza in the probate court. I would like to introduce Mr. Sam Campbell. Can you stand, please? And Mrs. Tessa Campbell. These are the parents of Sam Campbell. I'm so proud that there were the parents that they were able to take time out of the day to come and support their child here now with Hidalgo County. Thank you very much. Let's take a picture with the commissioners and the students. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm excited about this. Thank you for all your help.
Let's move on to the resolution in honor of Ms. Longoria.
Judge, I think we need action on the...
6C. Approve? Oh.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Is Norma Longoria present? Come on up, please. We have a resolution today in honor of a very special lady who's done a whole lot for our Women, Infant, and Children's program, and she's here with her sons. Whereas for more than 37 years, it's actually 37 years and 8 months, Norma Longoria has dedicated her career in Hidalgo County to serving pregnant, breastfeeding, and postpartum women and their infants and children up to the age of 5. And whereas, as the Director of Women, Infants, and Children's Program, Ms. Longoria has focused on innovation and expanding the reach of services available to women and their children. When clients had trouble coming to a WIC clinic, Ms. Longoria implemented a mobile clinic in 1992, and it still serves Colonia clients today. When the Starr County WIC program was going to close, Ms. Longoria took over the program to ensure that there would be no interruption of services for their clients. And whereas the United States Department of Agriculture and cooperating state health departments and tribal organizations promote and support exclusive breastfeeding as the optimal method of infant feeding through the special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children, and other nutrition assistance programs, Ms. Longoria's most recent project is working on a statewide initiative to help hospitals become baby-friendly. And whereas under Ms. Longoria's leadership, a lactation care center was opened in 2014 to allow WIC to see all women through the V funding. Title V funding. Sorry. This is one of only 3 lactation centers in the entire state of Texas. And WIC received a Gold Star recognition from the USDA for the promotion of breastfeeding in the community due to Ms. Longoria's efforts and initiatives. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby honors Norma Longoria for 37 years of dedicated service to the residents of Hidalgo County and to the Women, Infants, and Children's Program, and wishes her a long, healthy, and happy retirement. She's retiring at the end of this month.
Thank you so much.
Just a minute, Norma.
Yes.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
I thought this day would never come, but it's here, and I've decided to retire so that I can spend time with my family. And of course, my passion is to help people. I'll continue to do that in the community through the food bank and my church with the Feast of Sharing and toy drives and things like that nature. Plus, I'll be home to enjoy my grandchildren. And my sons are with me. Matthew Acosta, he's a certified peace officer. And Lucas Acosta, he is a customs officer. And they're here to partake of my retirement today, recognition. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best. I've enjoyed my career with the county. I love you all. I'm here for you all. If you need me, I have always backed every one of you all up with the efforts that you all do, and I wish you all the most success in the world. And I've worked with many judges, many commissioners, and I have the highest respect for you all. Thank you.
She told me that the other day.
All right, let's take a photo.
You need to get a little closer over here, no?
Yeah, Norma.
Get a little closer.
A little bit over here.
Oh, thank you. My school friend since
See, Mingo, how beautiful it can be.
Hasta le das flores. All right. One housekeeping item number 6C2. Need a motion authorizing me to sign the affiliation agreement for the SDISD Beta High School Budget Business Internship Program.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We need to move on to item number 21A, Precinct 4.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Jesse Luna for Hidalgo County Precinct 4. We actually have 6 resolutions, and I'm not going to read them all. They're all pretty much trying to accomplish the same goal. We have 6 individuals that received recognition by our office for deeming them Employee of the Year for each division of our precinct. While we'd like to give one to everybody because we believe we have exemplary employees through all of Precinct 4, we're picking one from every department each year. And I'd like the individuals to come up so we can get them back to work, actually. So from our Road and Bridge Department, Mr. Leonardo Espinosa. From our Drainage Department, Mr. Miguel Cabrera. From our Parks, I don't believe he's here, Joel Beltran. I don't think he made it. Sanitation, Mr. Jorge Guzman. From the Administration, who's interning today with the Public Relations, Elizabeth Gonzalez. And we also have our volunteer that we picked from our precinct from the San Carlos Resource Center, Ms. Maria Romero. I don't know if she's here. We just wanted to give these individuals the credit that they deserve. Like I said, we do believe that all our employees at the precinct are excelling at their position and serving the community to their greatest ability. But it's like the lottery. Every year, only one can win from every department, and we've chosen these individuals from each department. So I'd like to give them a round of applause and some recognition they truly deserve.
Do we need action on that?
Yes, we do. On all 6.
Second.
This is to all of them?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
It's under one item.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Sure.
All right, if you can step up, please, and then get right by
Estás igual cuando my eyes are watering. I think to clean the screen from this room. I don't. The members don't have it in my person and it's the person that carries it.
You ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
I've already done
Let's go ahead and go back to item number 5, open forum.
Judge, yes, we do have open forum. We do have 10 participants, so again, we do have a 3-minute time limit. But Judge, we do have Mr. Olivares in the audience who is representing us at a meeting shortly, and so if we could just move up item 13, that way Mr. Olivares can take it.
13?
Yes, he is representing the county at a meeting. Mr. Olivares, please.
Judge, Commissioners, thank you, Mr. Guerra. I have a phone call with the state in a few minutes I got to deal with. So, under item 13A, sir, 13A, discussion and approval of University of Texas Rio Grande Valley UTRGV Graduate Medical Education Program letter of agreement for preventive medicine residency programs between UTRGV and the County of Hidalgo by and through the County of Hidalgo and Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. This is Dr. Fernandez came a couple of months ago and presented. I met with each of the commissioners and reviewed the residency program, and finally all the legal dots were dotted and T's were crossed, so I'm coming forward to get permission formally to put this into action.
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item 2 is requesting authorization for County Judge Ramon Garcia to sign the authorization official to the UTRGV program letter of agreement for the preventive medicine residency program in collaboration with Hidalgo County Health and Human Services Department.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B, sir, is requesting approval to accept the tuberculosis PC federal contract 2016-001-400-00 in the amount of $437,771 for a period of January 1st, 2016 through December 31st, 2016.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign the TBPC federal grant contract certification regarding lobbying statement and fiscal federal funding accountability and transparency act certification statement.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 3 is requesting approval of the certification of revenue in the amount of $437,771.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 4, requesting approval of the budget appropriation in the amount of $437,771 in the grant funds and the $87,554 in local match, which has been part of our budgetary process already.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Sir, there isn't anything on item C, Healthcare Funding District, or item D, Indigent Healthcare Program, unless there's any questions or comments from any of the members of the court. Not, thank you. Happy New Year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ed. I know we have our district attorney here in the audience. Mr. Rodriguez, what item are you here on, sir? Good morning. The open carry item? All right, sir.
So
What item is that?
that would be item 11B. And Judge, we do have a public participation form, so at the appropriate time, I will call Ms. Fern.
Judge, and Commissioner, I'm just here to answer any questions that you might have on the item that's set on the agenda.
All right.
The open carry.
Then, Judge, if I may, 11B, under Executive Office, we have an approval of an order prohibiting the carrying of weapons into county judicial and correctional facilities that are exempted from the general rules permitting the open carrying of firearms by handgun license holders. Judge, Commissioners, this has been a topic of discussion for the last, I would say, 4 or 5 months, given the action that was taken by the state with respect to the new law from concealed to open carry. And so, again, in working with our district attorney's office, we do have an order that meets the allowable exemptions of today, open carry in buildings or in governmental buildings. So if there's any questions, I do have Ms. Josie, obviously our honorable district attorney, and we do have Mr. Garza Victor from the district attorney's office as well.
They were giving me a statement that I needed to read.
Yes, sir.
The Texas legislature recently amended state law allowing for the open and concealed carrying of handguns by handgun license holders in government buildings with certain exceptions. An exception is that a licensee may not carry a handgun onto the premises of a court or offices utilized by the court, nor may a licensee carry a handgun on the premises of a correctional facility. In an effort to protect the safety and security of those who participate in the judicial process and to ensure all members of this community have access to the court system, the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court is considering today an order to prohibit weapons from being brought in the courthouse, the courthouse annex, which houses the 13th Court of Appeals, the Commissioners Court, and the District Attorney's Office, the 430th District Court, and the 449th District Court, housed outside the courthouse premises, plus all of the JP Court facilities. These buildings share halls, walkways, entrances, exits, elevators, common areas, stairwells, restrooms, etc., which are used by persons involved in the judicial process, including judges, jurors, witnesses, parties, prosecutors, lawyers, and other judicial court personnel. Further, I've been advised by the presiding judge in Hidalgo County, Judge Bobby Flores, of the 139th Judicial District Court, that these areas are essential to the operations of the courts in Hidalgo County, and that it would be impossible to conduct judicial proceedings without considering the safety and security of the entirety of the premises housing the courts and court offices. This law went into effect January 1, 2016. Upon the passage of this order by the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court, Hidalgo County will post appropriate signage at the locations allowed by law.
Okay, that's my move for approval on that, but I also, that doesn't mean that we're going to stop here, no, Judge. We can continue doing, working on trying to get the other, like say the county commissioner's office, tax office, and all the other ones later on to see if they can do away with that. No?
Again, good morning, Judge and Commissioners.
Good morning,
and that's correct, Commissioner. I know that yourself and other commissioners and the judge as well are concerned about this law that's in effect, this new law that's in effect, and I know that your concern is of the employees and the government buildings, and which is a concern to us as well. But obviously, we're going by what's been issued as of today. It doesn't mean that we can't come back if something that's changed in the law later on down the road to where it could be commissioned that someone may be allowed to even come into the courthouse at certain aspects of the courthouse. Obviously, that could change as well, or it can change to where we can post notices in other governmental buildings as well. There's litigation ongoing today. There's already been lawsuits that have been filed against the state based on this matter. So, there could be precedent set in the near future here to decide, where we may go as to that gray area. But yes, Commissioner, we can come back at a later time and address it as well.
In a meeting held yesterday, there was obvious concern for the health and safety of our employees. We asked for training on what and how they are to respond with individuals in open carry. I know that our sheriff was in that meeting, and I do echo the same sentiments of our County Commissioner Joe Flores that the health and well-being of our employees is critical.
Yes,
we want to make sure they feel safe doing their jobs. There are some other buildings that we're concerned about, but we want to continue visiting the opportunity of probably including those other facilities. And
Yes.
I know there's concern on the tax office, but I wanted to re-echo the same sentiment, is that we are concerned about the health and safety of our employees.
Commissioners and Judge, obviously we've had the concealed weapon in place for a long time now. Obviously now it's the open carry. So it's just something that the public and us, we need to get used to. But hopefully, God willing, that everything will flow in a positive direction and we won't have any problems. And again, we don't know what may change or if it'll stay the same. So again, Commissioner, yes, we can come back at a later time and address any concerns that we may have.
I know we've had 2 meetings with the sheriff, our district attorney, and our offices, the administration, and I believe we have all concluded that based under the present interpretation of the new law, that we can go ahead and pass this order to prevent open carry guns in the facilities that we have mentioned. But I frankly believe that there are some other areas of our public buildings that need to also be further protected. But what we've decided is that we're going to be passing the law at this point under the present interpretation, and then hopefully come back within probably a few weeks, maybe a month, and look at the law at that point and see where it's taken it.
Judge, and you're correct. Again, we're sticking to the language that was given out by the AG's opinion, where it talks about what is essential to the operation of a government court. And obviously, we're sticking to what we feel today. We're safe and we're okay. Now, that interpretation again might change tomorrow, right? So again, we have to be here tomorrow to address the language or the law. If it's set any precedents, then we'll be here to discuss it.
Are there any questions?
Judge, we do have a public participation form on this very agenda item 11B.
All right.
That would be Ms. Fern McClary.
Yes. Senate bill, by the way, the ones that you're trying to keep out of your buildings and keep you safe is not someone that has a CHL. Our backgrounds have been checked by the state and by the federal FBI, so we're not the ones you got to worry about. Senate Bill 273, effective September 1st, 2015, relating to the certain offense related to carrying concealed handgun on property owned or leased by a government entity, providing a civil penalty. Prohibits a state agency or political subdivision from posting signs stating where license holders are prohibited from carrying a concealed handgun on the premises unless it's specifically prohibited by Texas Penal Code 4603 and 46035. Provides a civil penalty to a state agency or political subdivision if falsely notifying a license holder that entering or remaining on certain government premises leased or owned is illegal. Limiting the scope of the government meeting prohibited by restricting it to special rooms or rooms in which the meeting is being held and to the public meetings for which notice is required under Open Meetings Act. The violation within 3 business days of receipt of a written notice from a citizen. That's just one, all right? PC 4603, which you quote in your thing there. The places that we cannot carry. On the physical premises of a school or educational institution, on the premises of a polling place on election day or while of early voting, on the premise of any government court or office utilized by the court, on the premises of a racetrack, in or into the secure part of an airport, within 1,000 feet of the location where an execution is going to go. So, I mean, we know the laws and we know where we cannot carry. And yes, you have the right sign, PC Code 30-6. But at the end of that law, talking about the letters being an inch tall, contrasting colors, English and Spanish, it says, it is an exception to the application of this section that the property on which the license holder carries a handgun is owned or leased by a government entity and is not a premise on or other place on which the license holder is prohibited from carrying a handgun. So right now the law states you cannot put it on all county property. And it talks about premises, meaning a building or a portion of a building. The terms does not include a public or private driveway, street, sidewalk, walkways, parking lots, or parking garages. There's laws. We know what they are. And you talked about the 46035. It talks about the 51%, which is your signs. If you have a business that derives 51% of its income from booze, it's a bar, beer joint, whatever you want to call it, on the premise of a high school, college, or professional sports, on the premises of a correctional facility, on the premise of a hospital. These are the laws. Wait, I'm almost finished. I'm almost finished. And then in the paper, which I'm trying to find out, Paxton offered, he ruled that school districts could prohibit weapons, but then that local officials could only ban guns from courtrooms, not entire courthouses.
We're not here to talk about bars or schools or other locations.
Yes, but you named it in your thing there, 46035.
Yeah,
so
as it applies to us here. That's the only thing we're
you put it in
about.
there. It's on that paper, in your paperwork on today's commission. And my thing is, it's not us. And any time that you want to look up anything, you can go to the Texas website, which is www.txdps.state.tx.us, and find out and look at all the statistics on the people, regular citizens, and people that have CHLs. Look those up, and you won't have to worry about us. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion. Any further discussion?
Second.
No other motion? In a second, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And Commissioners and Judge, we feel confident that as to what you've just voted here today, that those buildings are safe as we speak here today. And again, just want to address that we're only talking about governmental entities or buildings at this time. And that we need to come back at a further point in time, then we'll come back and address it again. Okay.
Thanks, Judge. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Judge, Commissioner, if I may, I had another item on the agenda. Item 12.
Item 12, yes, sir.
Right, item 12, Judge Commissioners, I do believe I have HR there. This is under their Domestic Violence Specialty Prosecutor, which is Fund 1281. It's also under the Investigation House Bill 65. Under this fund, these individuals or these slots are law enforcement, and therefore they are asking for a slight adjustment of $412. Again, this is in line with what Commissioners Court has done during the budgeting process with other law enforcement personnel.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
That was item 12A. Item 12B, we have some appropriation information.
Number two.
12A2.
Approval of revised
Okay.
Salary schedule.
Thank you.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Now we go to B.
Go ahead, Joe.
HIDA Chapter 59 Asset Forfeiture. Approval of the 2016 HIDA Chapter 59 Asset Forfeiture Fund Budget 1251.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 2, approval of appropriation of the HIDA Chapter 59 Asset Forfeiture Funds.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
HIDA U.S. Treasury Asset Forfeiture Fund 1252. Number 1, approval of the 2016 HIDA U.S. Treasury Asset Forfeiture Fund Budget 1252.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 2, approval of appropriation of the HIDA U.S. Treasury Asset Forfeiture Funds.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, number 1, Mr. Silguero will be presenting under the HIDA Chapter 59 Asset Forfeiture, HIDA U.S. Treasury e-sharing personnel actions.
On item B1, Judge Commissioners, we're actually just switching some personnel from one account to another, from Fund 1251 to Fund 1252. So we're asking to delete slot 1 and 2 at 1251, and its current budgeted salary $61,800, and we're asking to create slot 0027 and 0028 at $61,800.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2, we're asking approval to waive the posting procedures, enrollment procedures, and assign employee number 114863 to slot number 0027, criminal investigator 2 position. Number 3, approval to waive posting, hiring, and enrollment procedures, and assign employee 072613 to slot number 02028, criminal investigator 2 position, and approval to revise the salary schedule.
Move for approval on those.
On 2 and 3 only.
Yes.
2 and 3.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 4 is approval to revise the salary schedule in accordance with the Commissioner's Court action.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
HIDA Task Force, Fund 1291, HIDA Chapter 59 Asset Forfeiture, Fund 1251. We're asking for the approval of the salary increases and redistribution of salary allocations as listed on Exhibit A.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 2 is the approval to revise the salary schedule in accordance with Commissioner's Court action.
Approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
HIDA Other Asset Forfeiture Fund, Number 1, approval of the 2016 HIDA Other Asset Forfeiture Budget.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 2, approval of appropriation of the HIDA Other Asset Forfeiture Funds.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
HIDA U.S. Treasury e-sharing Asset Forfeiture Fund 1254, Number 1, approval of the 2016 HIDA U.S. Justice Asset Forfeiture Budget.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 2, approval of appropriation of the HIDA U.S. Justice Asset Forfeiture Funds.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And number 3, authorization to pay overtime to the Hidalgo County HIDA Task Force criminal investigators from January 1st through December 31st under the U.S. Justice e-sharing terms and conditions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Commissioners, I just wanted to reiterate that these increases and the salary allocations are coming straightly from Chapter 59 funds. No general funds were used to give these increases. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you?
Judge, Commissioner, thank you very much. Maybe excuse?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Raul, do you
Judge,
want
can
to
I,
finish
can
that
I,
item?
can I finish item
Yes.
12?
Go ahead.
Judge Commissioners, the item C is Public Defender is requesting a waiver of the budget amendment policy for personnel-related amendments. And item 2 is discussion, consideration, approval of the following personnel action effective next full pay period. We're asking for a reclassification of slot 0001, Public Defender 2 at a salary of $55,437 to be reclassified to Public Defender 3 at a salary of $62,475. Judges, this
You want to take it one at a time?
Yeah, let's take number one
Okay,
first.
I'm sorry.
Move for approval, C1.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, 2, discussion of the personnel action. This is reclassification of the position as I iterated. This is
Second.
for the position that's going to be doing the child welfare. There's additional, more complicated work. We'll be doing the child welfare, which will save the county hopefully $500,000 this year. So I'm asking approval for number 2.
So moved. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
3 is approval of the interdepartmental transfer.
Approval. Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And C4 is approval of the revised salary schedule in accordance with Commissioners Court action.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, I have one more item on item number 20. It was put in under precinct 3.
Number 20.
Number 20A for precinct 3 road maintenance. We're asking approval to create one full-time temporary position up to 6 months.
Hold on, Raul. 20?
Yes.
28. All
28.
right, go ahead.
Approval to create one full-time temporary position, not to 6 months. An employee is an FMLA, so this is to help.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
2, approval of the intradepartmental transfer.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor, say aye. 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 Motion carries.
And item 3 is approval to revise the salary schedule in accordance with the court action.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Commissioner.
Judge, Commissioners, we have our tax assessor collector in the audience, Mr. Villarreal, which is item 9.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
My item is it's a presentation. Well, I'm here to ask for consideration and acceptance and approval to publish in the Register of the Secretary of State the proposed rules that would state the nature and requirements of all available formal and informal procedures to license motor vehicle title services and runners. That's pretty much what I want to say.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul.
Judge, if we may, could we also do item 10? We do have our sheriff in the audience, Sheriff Guerra. Item 10 is the LDSP Fund 1284. Captain Ozuna. There are 3 items, A, B, and C.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. I'm also here on item 22.
Oh, you're in 22? 22A, yes.
Let's go ahead and get the...
Do you want to start with 10?
Yeah, let's start with 10. I'll have Captain Ozuna present that.
All right.
Morning. Morning.
Morning, sir.
Under item 10A,
This is our LBSP 2016. Under number 1 is authorization and approval to accept the local border security program FY16 grant.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item number 2 is authorization for a county judge as the authorized official to electronically sign the grant award form and the related documents.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 3 is authorization to pay the overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 4 is approval of certification of revenues as certified by our county auditor for the LBSP FY 2016 LBSP.
Motion approved. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 5 is approval to appropriate the budget for the LBSP 16 grant award in the amount of $175,000.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B, approval interlocal cooperation agreement for our shooting range and training between the Sheriff's Office and the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission.
Approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Requesting the authorization for our county judge and as the authorized official and our sheriff to sign the 2 original documents.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item C is we're requesting approval for our county treasurer to process a payment for fuel reimbursement in the amount of $66.56 to our division chief, Oscar Montoya. The Voyager car was not working properly, so he had to take it out of his own pocket.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Now,
Thank you. Item 22A.
22A.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 22A is discussion, consideration, and possible action on commencing the mid-year salary-related adjustments approved during the fiscal year 2016 budget adoption on January 11th, 2016, which is the first full pay period of 2016.
What does that mean?
On the 15th, y'all had requested me to present as far as the status update on the budget on how we are right now. As far as the 2016 budget, based on the auditor's estimates that we used to develop the budget, and based on the adopted budget that we have of $189.3 million, we will have an estimated fund balance of $20.7 million, which is roughly about 10.95% of our operating budget. Right now, as of to date, we have roughly about $10.5 million that have been unexpended from the 2015 budget. However, we still have period 13 expenditures that need to be expended. Roughly, that usually happens over the course of the next 6 weeks, where we're still paying bills for 2015. So there's still expenditures that need to be recorded for 2015. Right now, we're estimating that we'll probably lapse anywhere between $1 to $1.5 million from the 2015 budget, which would increase our fund balance roughly by about another $1 million, bringing it roughly to about 11.5%.
I thought we were going to do them in April. Is this related to the raises for the deputies and other
Correct.
personnel?
I believe your December 15th meeting, you requested this item on the agenda.
Yeah, I thought we had decided that it was going to be
First quarter.
and I'm in favor of it, Judge. I'm not speaking against it. I think they truly deserve it. Because we were going to be waiting until the auditor certifies the revenues, which doesn't occur until March, that the earliest would be sometime in April or late March. We had talked about doing it in July, but we talked about moving it up to March or April.
Another quarter, yeah.
That's right. And do we normally do this? Do we normally have this type of a certification of revenues this early on?
No, the books have not closed. The books will not close probably till mid-March. And even after then, there's still some adjustments that are made as the auditors go through the year-end audit. And there's certain year-end adjustment journal entries that are made. So yes, I mean, we're far from closing the fiscal year for 2015. Right now, what I'm presenting is basically my projections this is how we feel we would end at the end of the fiscal year. That page 2 reflects the auditor's estimates. We think that we'll probably lapse an additional, as I mentioned, an additional $1 million. Right now, we have about $10.5 million that have been unexpended. Normally, during period 13, there's about six.
Where's the auditor's estimate?
On page 2.
Page?
The document, Judge. The document. The document, yeah, right there.
Which is a $20,744,000?
Correct.
Is the auditor here?
What about?
No.
Can you ask him to please come in?
No. This is his estimated fund balance, what he was estimating at the end of the year, which is what we're using. Roughly, the auditor revised the estimates in
Hold on
August.
so you can hear what
Sure.
you're saying he is doing.
Give me extra copy.
Good
Yes, sir.
morning, Mr. Ocasio.
Monday.
As you know,
Happy New Year, Judge.
thank you. You know, last year when we had an item related to an increase in salaries for some of our deputies and other personnel here at the court, partially based on your recommendation was that we needed to defer those salary increases until July in order to not come below the 10% of our fund balance, figure that we have self-imposed on ourselves as being our barometer, so to speak.
Right.
And at that time, we went ahead and decided that we were not going to start those salary increases in January, but we're going to be waiting until July or possibly March or April, depending on your certification of the revenues and whether or not we have the funds in place. And this morning we've been told that you've already done it, that you've already certified the revenues, and we do have the funds in place.
Judge, I certify revenues in the summer before you start your budget process. So that's already been done. I'm going to certify revenues again August or so. So
Mr.
that
Foster.
certification of revenues is done once a year around August. So I don't know what you mean by...
Is this number correct here, that you've certified $20,744,074?
He certified the $25.4 million beginning fund balance. That's what he certified. That was his estimate during September during the budget adoption process. Again, the $184.6 million in revenues is what the $184.6 million is what was estimated by the county auditor's office for preparation of our 2016 budget, which gave us an available resources of $210 million. Based on the budget adoption, based on deferring the law enforcement and other adjustments to mid-year, the total adopted budget was $189.3 million, which would leave us a fund balance of $20.7 million. These are, again, using the numbers that the auditor used.
And at that 20.7 million
is how much? But 11.5%, 12?
10.9.
10.9%. Very close.
Yes, very close.
Judge, but let me...
What would happen if we were to go ahead and make the salary increases effective now in January 11th? Wouldn't that come down?
No, that number won't come down because, again, right now, any adjustments that we make to this fiscal year's budget would have to be done from within the 2016 budget. We cannot go back and take $1.3 million from our fund balance to make these adjustments.
So you're not suggesting we start the salary increases in January, but
no. What I'm saying is we can't use our fund balance to fund these salary increases. It would have to be
Out of our operating.
from within, from the $189.3 million budget that we have right now. Those adjustments would have to come
How
from
many
there.
millions is that in increases?
The increases is on page 3.
Yeah,
We still have some pending mid-year adjustments, roughly about $1.17 million for the law enforcement, and then another $200,000 for the other departments that requested adjustments, and then there was, I believe, 2 or 3 new positions that were created with that as well. So the total cost to implement those increases that were scheduled to take effect on July, if we were to implement it, the next pay period, it would cost us roughly about $1,372,000.
For the year.
That would be with the cost.
What if we just implemented the beginning of the second quarter? Would that be all right, Mr. Professor?
It'd be up to you, Commissioner, but I wanted to clarify something. Judge talked about me certifying things. The $25 million that Sergio was talking about is not a certification. I estimated. I'll do an evaluation of resources, and I'll say I'm estimated that at the end of 12/31/2015, there was going to be 25.4. The certification that I do is, like I was saying, is every August, and I believe it. If this is correct, that's the number that I certify, 184,606. But that's what I certify, Judge. The revenues that, or the resources that I estimate you're going to have. Now, as far as the question from Commissioner Flores, I haven't looked at the numbers yet. I would have to go take a look at.
Well, I think we need to be correct on this because, I mean,
Right.
We're too close to that 10%.
I mean,
Right.
10.9 is pretty damn close.
Sergio, I have a question. If we were to move forward with page 3, the 1.3 million, what would it do to the 10.95% on page 2? Can we afford to do it and keep it above the 10%?
It wouldn't affect that 10.9%.
At all?
As I mentioned, we have to do it from our current adopted budget, which is 189.3 million, I believe.
So what you're saying is we adopted a budget that had in it over $1 million
No.
money
Again,
to move around?
No, we the only way we can fund it is if fund it right now is if you sort of say that we're going to use the projected lapses, and again, these are all projections. Normally, we lapse salaries because of vacancies, because of other things that we lapse salaries. In 113, which is just a regular full-time employee, over the last 5 years, we've lapsed roughly about 2.7 annually. Some years have been 2 million, some years have been 4 million that we've lapsed.
I can tell you what we lapsed just in my budget last year was on the jail was 1.3 million, and on the law enforcement was 679,000. So combine those together, it's just under $2 million is what we lapsed in lapse fund in 2015 only.
Judge, water caution, those lapses normally are utilized to fund other things. So just because you can lapse salaries, normally there's things that come up all the time, and budget office uses those lapses for.
Last year, for example, do we have any lapse? Did we use it for anything else?
Yes, we've used them. Again, on page 4, you have other considerations that we need to look at. 2016 budget issues that we've identified right now that potentially could have an effect on the 2016 budget, which is one of them is going to be the juvenile boot camp. Again, they were not seeing as many kids as should have been seeing, so the revenues that they were normally generating they weren't able to meet that. So the auditor reduced the revenue projections because of that. There was not enough placements. So there could be an issue there. We pretty much know that there's going to be an issue, roughly about $400,000 that we'll need to fund, do an additional transfer into the boot camp facility. And again, we've always had an issue with the juvenile placements for room and board. We budgeted $2.5 million for 2016. Last year, we spent it over $4 million. We're probably on track to do that again this year. So there's issues within that juvenile room and board placement. The jail room and board, we budgeted 2.2. That one, those numbers have seemed to be coming down as far as on the out-of-county expenses. They came down the last few months. So right now, if those numbers stay steady throughout 2016, we should have enough money from there. But if they go back up again, then we would have issues there. And then again, we do have...
That's the word there, should have.
Yeah.
Those are moving targets, so...
Yes, they are.
It's kind of hard for you to, at this point, to say that...
So if we move it to the second quarter, we would be looking about 800,000.
700
right?
some thousand, yeah.
Yes.
Or less, no, about 600 some thousand.
Well, a little over 600,000.
And we'd have a target that wouldn't be moving so quickly.
So could
we can do it starting March 1st.
So we can approve for
April 1st.
For April 1st, the second quarter.
That's on the agenda. You can take action on it right now.
Judge, another thing that I'm not sure about this 10.9%. I haven't seen it before. So before I say anything on that number, I got to take a look at it.
Why don't we just table it for a week and maybe look at it and you come back?
That's what I would suggest, but it's up to you.
I have one thing on precinct 1. We approved leveled off everybody at 28,000.
That's like
and I got 17 employees that are in parks and in sanitation, which is out of the general fund.
But Commissioner, I believe this was addressing specifically the law enforcement, which was the biggest portion of it.
Okay, I just want to make sure it's covered because that's going to affect.
Do we have an agenda item to cover those sanitation workers?
I think
Those
that
will need
was,
to be, as far as on the other adjustments, those other adjustments were also deferred to July 1st. So, I mean, if we want to make those effective at the beginning of this
How much
program,
money
we
is
would-
involved in your sanitation workers?
It's a total of 53,579.
I was under the impression that it was the whole law enforcement.
It's everybody.
No, it was everybody.
The law enforcement is the
The other departments
1.170.
was
and
roughly
then
about
the-
$500,000. However, we already funded a portion of those because the majority of those other department adjustments were the public defender's office, the juvenile section, the creation of that. So we've already taken care of that. We've already created that and approved that.
So, Sergio,
So there's still another $202,000 that
That's
are.
my next question on the other departments on the 202. Does it incorporate precinct
That
ones?
incorporates precinct.
That's
one.
part of precinct 1.
Okay.
Yeah, the law enforcement is 1.9, and other department was like $500,000.
You know,
1.1?
we
Okay.
up here are the ones that get the, have to do the dirty work, but sometimes you got to do it to protect the county. Whatever's right is right. What do you think, Judge?
I think the only one that I would feel comfortable in going along with would be those, the workers at the low end of the scale, that we should compensate, equalize all of the sanitation workers. The ones in precinct 1 ought to earn the same as what they're earning in the other precincts.
That's what I did in my precinct. Everybody starts at 28,000.
But beyond that, I think we need to wait until the latter part of March, early April, so we can have a better understanding as to what the numbers look like. I don't want to go out there and take any action involving these millions of dollars while we have what Mr. Ofraja calls a moving target.
I think it's an important thing to do.
Can you work on it the next week or so?
Yeah, I've had a chance to take a look at those numbers, but can you allow me to take a look at them and then
Maybe we
come
can
back
look at
with-
them and maybe we can at least go to the second quarter, so see how they look.
But in the meantime, could we take action on to equalize your
Are we able to
employees?
take action? Sergio?
Yes, I mean, you can, the item was to take action on all of them, but you can take, I would assume you can take action on.
Is that correct, Valdi?
just a portion of it.
You're taking the blame here.
Yes. Yes, that
Move for approval.
There would be an action, there would be a motion in a second.
Yeah, but I mean, Steve would have to make the motion where it be.
It would only involve,
Where's Steve at?
Precinct 1, sanitation and parks.
Or Judge?
Yes.
I think we can go ahead and do it.
It's a sanitation and parks.
It'll be effective cuando se-
Okay, go ahead. ¿Qué tal, Raúl? He wants to say something. I mean, I'm sorry. Ando bien verde. Raúl, I know.
Judge, Commissioners, I have an item, and just for clarification, we keep talking about the first full pay period. The first full pay period in 2016 is period 1, and the pay date for that is January the 8th. The way the language is written, it would appear that employees' salary increases, the COLA, including the COLA, that's my concern, would be effective 1/11, and the employees would not get that pay raise until February sometime. And I think the first full pay period should be interpreted to be the first full pay period of the year, which doesn't include January 1 yet, but the second one would.
So the question was whether or not we could act on those requests by Commissioner
Precinct
Boyer
one,
and
sanitation
Precinct
and parks.
No, I understand, but
Under the
the
agenda
date that's listed there is 1/11, and what I'm saying, all the COLA and all should be effective January the 1st.
Well, we'll make our motion subject to January 1st.
Yeah, so what I'm recommending is that the effective date for that action is the 1st, and that applies to the COLA as well.
Okay, that's my motion, and be for precinct 1 sanitation road bridge, right?
And parks.
Right.
Second.
And it's involving the 53,740. Okay. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And for the record, Mr. Ofraja will come back and put it on the agenda next week to visit.
Can you read that?
The next agenda?
Can you read that? The amount? Can you read it?
The number that we have is 53,579, but just to clarify, It's whatever the end result is with respect to that particular, those two
Sanitation.
particular
Parks and
accounts, parks
sanitation.
and sanitation. But if the math is correct, we're looking at 53,579.
But it'd be better to say that it involves parks.
Parks, sanitation.
That's what that was said.
Whatever the net effect
We're
is.
gonna make it equal 28,000?
Yeah.
Whatever the net
28
effect
plus the
is.
COLA, yeah.
Whatever dollar amount is.
Yes.
Yeah. Effective January 1.
January 1.
Whatever the net effect is.
Mr. Velasco, you're going to have time to
When
look
are you going
at
to
the
have time
sheriff's
to
office?
have a better understanding on this number?
What, I need a few days to take a look at it. I need to meet.
For our
with-
next meeting, we got a meeting in 2 weeks. So
Right,
can
we have a meeting in
everybody-
2 weeks.
Next meeting, we can,
All right.
You have it back on the agenda next?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you.
You have it on
Thank
the
you,
agenda
Sheriff.
again with a
Yes.
possible action or whatever.
Sheriff, I just want to make sure that you appreciate our position. We want to take care of your deputies. We understand the work that they do. We understand that they put their lives on the line every day they go out there, and they deserve to get compensated fairly. We're trying to make sure that that occurs. We're just trying to
No, we're
balance
here to
the
work, we're here to
interests.
work with you, Judge. and-
Thank you.
And the Commissioner. We know you understand and we understand your plight, sir. But
And-
anything that we can do, on the jail, the district attorney, along with some of our JPs have done, and ourselves have done a fantastic job of reducing the out-of-county inmate population. We're keeping it under 100. Last year, we spent, as Sergio said, we spent $2.2 million or $2.4 million last year. We think we're going to be able to save over $1 million in 2016 on out-of-county inmate housing. Also, our fuel budget last year, we spent $600,000 less in 2015, partly due because of the reduced price, and we had less consumption. We expect to save a lot of money on our maintenance costs, since our fleet is now newer. So we see some good savings this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Hey, Judge, I just want to make one comment. We're always dealing with a moving target. When you look at some of our budget being sweeps and lower costs in gasoline and stuff like that, every year, every day, we're always going to be dealing with moving targets. We just got to do our best to estimate based on history certain savings and stuff. So I just want to make that clear, that no matter what time of the year we're working with, we're always dealing with estimates and projections and history. And so the best way to determine the budget is by history and what's coming up.
And have a cushion, of course.
Of course.
Thank you, Judge Concha.
Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, if I may,
What item?
open forum, item 5. Open forum.
We didn't do the consent, no?
Oh, I'm sorry, have we done consent?
No.
If we could do consent, please.
There's one item that
Which is?
8B.
Judge, Commissioners, with respect to consent item, if we could pull item 8B.
Move for approval without 8B.
Second.
And those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
With respect to item 8B, it's just a clarification. The agenda refers to Rich CBF McAllen LLC, the second LLC. The parent name should be Rich CBF McAllen the third, or LLC.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under open forum, again, 3 minutes for the participants, and again, we ask the audience to respect the participants' time up at the podium. Our first presenter is Ms. Rosie Higuerina.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Today I'm here. My name is Rosie Tijerina, and I'm here in reference to our lighting in our colonias. Last time we had a meeting, we needed to collect, I think it was 75% of our signatures, and I believe we've turned that in already to our commissioner. And right now, we're just waiting to see if we're going to get any type of information, or, how they're going to start billing us for the lighting, and when it might get started, when we might see some of the projects started. So, thank you. That's
What
why I'm
colonia was that? What location?
we're looking into the Gully Meadows Colonia.
Okay.
And we got all our signatures, and we turned them into our commissioner, and we're just waiting to see we have any information or what the status will be, how they're going to start billing us, and when the project might get started.
Yes. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for your attention. This question is coming from all the precincts, not just from Precinct 1. Precinct 1 is the first one to turn in these applications. We're continuing to turn in these applications with Lupe for all the county. But all these questions are coming throughout the county. When are they going to get the lighting? How many fees are going to be? How much fees? How many lights are going to be installed? And we're looking for communication between the different parties in this pilot project. Once again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next presenter.
Next presenter is Marta Sanchez.
Good morning, Commissioner and Judge. We wanted to just congratulate you on the first year meeting. We also, on behalf of La Unión del Pueblo Entero, we want to thank you for all the work that you have done in this past year, and we're looking forward to really ramp up our applications for the different colonias. We would like to see, not past January, to see the lights turn on, because we sound like a broken record. I think we already got people tired of coming here, and every time we're talking about the same issue. But we had turned in all the applications, as Ms. Tijerina said, and we are really looking forward for January to start seeing those lights come on, because the other people are waiting. And I know you're talking a lot about budgeting and increase of salaries, and that's great. But we also, the people in the colonias also wants to see services, not just well-paid employees in the county, that's great, because we all want to have a living wage. But we're also looking to see services. I mean, our colonias are pretty potty. The streets are pretty big holes with the rain. We're dark, so we're really looking forward to I hope that you're thinking about budgeting for infrastructure for the public lighting colonias, because it's a lot more applications are coming up your way, and we still want to see the lights come up pretty soon. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Next presenter.
The next presenter is John Dimas.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Commissioner Palacios, I was just coming by, sir, just to remind you, please don't forget us.
No.
Over there on Rio Grande Road. It's at, the staff had assured us that something would be done by the end of last year, and unfortunately we are in the new year, and we're still stuck in the same boat. And, we're just getting a little bit restless. We're getting tired. The trucks are breaking down, and, money's tight right now. We had a real tough year. And, I mean, we just really, really need help, because those millings that they're putting out there, it's not doing a bit of good. All it's doing is making matters worse. So, I mean, we're between a rock and a hard place, and anything could be done, anything that can be done for us, we'd greatly appreciate it. And that's about it. Thank you.
Our next presenter is Ms. Opal Billman.
Good morning. My name is Opal Billman. Think in terms of an issue being really dragged out. I was sued for divorce in May of 1996, which requires a legal division of our community property. My efforts to have our land surveyed for the purpose of knowing precisely have been blocked, but Joe and I own almost 80 acres of land. The judge determined our land was excess land with no value. When Joe and I were young, working and earning, we invested in land. We farmed citrus, cotton, grain, and tomatoes. Also, Joe worked 35 years for Southwestern Bell. We sold sand and dredged a lake. It has been called to my attention our lake could be of use by the Drainage District, the Irrigation District, the City of Mission, and Halliburton. Action of the court was to bring into existence 2 new state-certified corporations and award our undivided land not to Joe and me, but to the corporations, investors, and shareholders. Who are they? Joe neither received nor sold any of his community property, and neither did I. For a divorce settlement between Joe and me of our community property, the judge did nothing, leaving our land owned exactly as it entered the court, still owned jointly and equally by Joe and me. Because Joe died, his community property is the estate of Joe Billman, and my community property is mine. The court claims to have sold a strip of our land for a street to the city of Mission for $280,000 taxpayer dollars. The land is still ours. No one can sell what they do not own. We have not sold any of our land. Who got the money? The north 20 acres of John H. Sherry has been owned by the Billman family since 1942, 74 years. The frontage has never been commercial land. A commercial development has been built on our land. According to Texas law, it belongs to us. Also, encroachment has occurred on John H. Sherry Lot 194. When I advised the trespassers, they said they were going to do what they wanted to. It's been 20 years since 1996. I have asked repeatedly for an examination, explanation, and compliance to the law. Response has been silence. It's not my job, and it's privileged information we can't tell you.
Ms. Billman.
I consider the meaningless hearings, accusations of mental illness, police-enforced, false imprisonment,
Ms. Billman, I believe your time is up.
I hear you. Arrest. I hear you. And unconstitutional trials
Ms. Billman.
following Joe's death
Ms.
when
Billman.
legally the case was to be
Ms. Billman.
dismissed or defamation of my character
Ms. Billman,
and marriage.
Yeah,
Ms.
come on.
Billman, thank you. No,
No, ma'am, just sit down.
All we ask is as we respect everyone's time.
I read it 3 minutes all over with my clocks. It was 3 minutes by my clock. I always have it written, and I always read it.
Thank you, Ms. Billman.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next presenter is Vanessa Tijerina.
I'm not going to invoke my disability rights because I already did that with Ms. Badillo. So I'm hoping that I am not cut off at my 3 minutes because I already requested appropriate accommodation. Is there going to be a problem? I hope not. We might.
Ma'am. I've been notified, and I'm taking that into consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello, gentlemen. I wish everybody could have been here, but somebody needed to walk out. So, Happy New Year. I want to thank you, first of all, for all of the good things that you've done for Hidalgo County. Unfortunately, I'm here for concern. I did attempt to call the respective commissioner for my concern, but he didn't answer me. He didn't. And really, when I started to think about it, I didn't want to waste my time calling all the commissioners because, well, I couldn't even leave a message. So, when I started to think about it, the problem that I'm bringing, the concern that I have is valley-wide, that it's county-wide, and that's the reason that I'm here. I have a pet peeve, and my pet peeve is city, school, and county boards that are ineffective, that are reluctant to do the right thing. As a citizen, I was able to get the FBI to investigate my municipality, and that's not an easy thing to do for somebody that is unconnected, an unconnected citizen. But that's how legitimate and reasonable my complaint was. Who am I, other than Vanessa Tijerina? I am a nurse. I'm a nurse trained to identify and address problems effectively. Not just a little bit, enough to get the situation under control. As a scientist and a credentialed biologist, I am trained to analyze data and to apply that data in a way that makes the world a better place. As a humanist, I act. That's why I'm here. As your next Congresswoman of Congressional District 15, I'm here representing the people of my district. That's what I'm here to do. I am advocating for my people. The director of the FBI was not in Duval, Jim Hogg, Live Oak, Karnes, or Guadalupe County. The director of the FBI came here last year and gave us a visit. That's the reason that I think that this is important, okay? Because public corruption is not limited to a sheriff dealing drugs and partaking in things like that. Public corruption, as you've seen in Progresso, has a lot to do with leaders being ineffective, mismanaging, and just plain making the wrong decisions. This is election time, and I've noticed that a lot of people in Hidalgo County, a lot of candidates in Hidalgo County like to advertise, like to offer the citizens a progressive platform, yet once they are elected, that progressive platform, and that's distracting me, I'm sorry. Once they're elected, that progressive platform is no longer, and then they take on a moderate platform. The way that our political climate is right now, and the way that our issues are not being addressed, we absolutely need movement. Moderation is maintenance of an ideal situation. That's not what we need. We need progression. We need change. The reason I'm here is because of the pothole problem. As a nurse 10 years ago, as a home health nurse in Hidalgo County, I know that I couldn't go down 491 because they were building a bridge. And so then I had to go on mile 9. 10 years ago, I wish that I was in a position to do something and help these people. You all, this is a long-standing problem. It's been a mockery on local news, pothole patrol and this and that. But what people don't realize is that this is absolutely affecting people that already have their equality of outcome and equality of opportunity affected. It is unacceptable for Hidalgo County to have the best roads in the most affluent areas. It is unacceptable for Hidalgo County to expect people to have reliable transportation, but we're not giving them reliable roads. It's unacceptable for the fixes to be such that if the next rain comes, it's not going to be fixed anymore. It's unacceptable. You're putting citizens at risk because first responders are not able to come out. They are just as at a risk as citizens are swerving out of the way. Most of these people have blue title cars. They can't afford these cars. And then to be going through 8, 10-inch potholes? I'm in a unique position compared to the rest of my candidates. I don't need to worry about the primaries, and I'm going to be in this race for a year. So I'm going to be taking pictures. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I'm going to be taking pictures of all of these streets. In 1 year, I'm going to compare and see what progress has been made. You all should remember this.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Our next presenter is Dr. Dorothy Adams.
Good morning, Judge and gentlemen.
Good morning, ma'am.
I am circulating a petition in the neighborhood referenced below. We, the citizens of Precinct 1, Hidalgo County, living in the immediate proximity of the intersection of Sioux Road and Old La Blanca Road, want full repair and or replacement of the pavement of Sioux Road westward from that intersection to for a minimum of 1 mile, and similar full repair or replacement of the pavement on Old La Blanca Road from that intersection southward to the intersection with 10 Mile Road. Current conditions are unacceptable, as are the piecemeal unserviceable pothole fillings along these routes. These road surfaces are so badly deteriorated that vehicles are driving up onto easements to property owners' land and destroying private property, endangering children, residents, and livestock. As the law-abiding taxpayers, we respectfully request immediate attention and resolution of these problems be accomplished. Number 1, residents of Sioux Road from the aforementioned intersection proceeding eastward to Highway 493 have requested that they be included in this petition. A second iteration of the petition will be submitted within 7 days. The condition of that section of road is equally disastrous and actually dangerous because the parents parents driving their children to school at J.S. Adami Elementary or returning home following such a mission dodge back and forth on the road trying to miss the deep and omnipresent potholes, increasing the risk of collisions. Number 2, the road conditions on Sioux Road as it intersects northbound Old La Blanca Road are abominable. Although recently potholes on Old La Blanca Road was promptly addressed by the Commissioner, thank you, Commissioner Cuellar, it was promptly addressed, the same potholes have reappeared and are equally hazardous. Therefore, it was only minimally successful. My daughter, traveling at 25 miles per hour, bottomed out in one of the potholes, resulting in $1,000 damage to her Jeep Cherokee. Her kids didn't get any Christmas this year. Deep, almost contiguous potholes, as much as 8 to 12 inches deep, are in the roadbed of Sioux Road from 493 to approximately 1 mile past the intersection of Old La Blanca Road. Drivers have elected to drive on the 9-foot easement to my property, which stretches 1/4 of this distance, and some tire tracks are between 4 to 6 inches from my fence on that property line, which has resulted in breakage of 5 fence posts and damage to a street sign warning of a stop ahead at the intersection. I pasture 4 horses on a 3.5-acre field along that route, and damage to that fence not only endangers the livestock, which tried to escape during the damage to the fence, but also to drivers who might encounter them on the roadway. I have discovered that I'm no longer strong enough, because I've gotten so scrawny, to manage the pounder to put in metal fence posts to counter the damage, but was fortunate enough to have 2 neighbors who came to my aid when I passed out trying to repair the fence. One moment, those pothole fillers, which have not disappeared on Old La Blanca Road, are so uneven and close together that the road is dreadfully rough and almost unnavigable. Therefore, vehicles dodge back and forth on the older pavement to risk head-on collisions as they travel south to the intersection of 10 Mile Road. Got my tang tangled over my eye tooth, couldn't see what I was saying. Happy New Year.
Thank you, ma'am. Next presenter is Ms. Andrea Landeros.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Andrea Landeros y represento a Organización Arise. Esta mañana estoy para agradecer al comisionado Cantú y a Isi Cuellar por su involucramiento y participación en temas de prioridad como son la contaminación de la laguna de Dona y la planta de aguas negras que está al sur de Álamo, y también estamos también hablando sobre la recuperación en casos de emergencia. Entonces, este día quiero recordarles, nuestra próxima reunión es este mes, el 14 de este mes, de 9 a 2 de la tarde, y contamos con su presencia. Muchas gracias.
I'll translate. So this is Andrea Landeros. I'm Brooke Lissy. We're both with Arise. She just wants to say thank you to Commissioner Cuellar and Commissioner Cantu for their participation in our past meetings with the EPA and looking for solutions to the contamination of Donna Lake, for the water treatment plant in South Alamo, and also for emergency preparedness. Our next meeting is going to be on the 14th of January from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. So we wanted to invite you guys once again, and it's going to be at Arise Support Center, 1419 South Tower Road. And that's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Next presenter is Mr. Eduardo Estrada.
I just have a question. This past July, after the rains in June that were designated a FEMA disaster, our roads out in Precinct 4 were in a bad condition. And As I remember in July, there was a gentleman here with the county who said there was a 90-day projected window to get some work done. And I'd like to know when the county, when this board is going to allocate money to repair or completely rebuild Cesar Chavez. East of Raul Longoria, we have Trenton, Wisconsin, Canton. They're bad. They're in a bad way. I know that Owassa was worked on, and I appreciate that. But how much longer? I'd like this board to commit itself in this year. And if you can say in 2016 we're going to get out in Precinct 4 and take care of those roads. Again, the other presenters before me have substantiated that we got a problem out there, and the solution lies right here with this governing board. Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess you can talk to me about it, Commissioner, right?
And I signed up for
Right.
open forum to
We have
address the
Commissioner
issues with the
on
roads.
just roads in general.
Yeah.
Commissioner.
I'd be happy to report. Currently, we have not received any allocated funds from FEMA from the original range from May of 2015. The initial amounts that they've given us was unacceptable, beyond our standards, and beyond what we've analyzed as damages from those rains. Initially, they came in with $200,000, of which we've submitted more than $3 to $4 million worth of damaged roads. In that, we have used maintenance and operation accounts to address Owassa Road and several other heavily damaged roads. We did have a reevaluation from FEMA. They are here at our offices completing their analysis of the original rains from May. And we are upside closer to about $1 million of funds, federal funds, that will be allocated for the rebuilding of the roads. I do agree with Mr. Acosta. We do have to do something. We do have crews. Workforce Solutions is allocated, I think, close to 40 to 60 employees to help us run 7-day operations. We are working on potholes. Unfortunately, we've been hit with disastrous rains from May all the way to the end of the year. That's still, obviously, we have a lot of empathy to our taxpayer, and we're out there rebuilding as we speak. We're going to continue rebuilding, and it is a goal of the precincts to address all of the damages that have been sustained from a lot of the rainfalls, the recent rainfalls from May all the way through the end of the year. But we look forward to receiving all of our taxpayers at our offices. We'd love to address where we're at, where we're going, what's funded, and what our projected timelines are. We can be reached at our office, 383-3112. We'd be happy to set up meetings with all areas, all residents, all taxpayers that have concerns to our roads. And I believe I'm speaking for all commissioners that they feel they're readily available to address a lot of the damages sustained by the rainfalls.
Thank you.
Thank you for the update.
Our last presenter is Ms. Belinda Alvarez.
Hi, good morning, Judge, Commissioners. I was actually coming in this morning to give you an update on the recovery process, or the recovery phase for disaster recovery 4245, which was our October rains. But if you don't mind, I'd just like to make one more statement on 4223, which is the rains that affected us during the May-June event. We not only had requested for FEMA to reassess Precinct 4, but we also asked for FEMA to reassess Precinct 1 roads, which will be coming back. FEMA will be coming back, I believe, the 15th of January to reassess those roads that Precinct 1 felt needed to be reassessed because they didn't agree with some of the assessments that FEMA had done on those roads. So it is a process. Unfortunately, it's a process that takes a while, but we are not done with 4223, and so we're still waiting for the decision for them to come back and reassess Precinct 1 as well for 4223. Okay. So on 4245, which is the October rain event, we just wanted to give you, on behalf of emergency management, an update on where we are on the recovery phase. This past December 24th, FEMA amended the declaration to include public assistance, excuse me, the public assistance program for those areas that were adversely affected by the event, to include Hidalgo County. Now, what that means is this program will provide supplemental federal disaster grant assistance to local governments and certain types of private nonprofit organizations for debris removal, emergency protection measures, and repair, replacement, or restoration of disaster-damaged facilities. The federal share, the federal share of assistance is not less than 75% of the eligible cost for emergency measures and permanent restoration. We were advised by the state that Hidalgo County will be having their public assistance briefing next Tuesday, January 12th. It will be held at the Westaco City Hall from 10 a.m. to noon, and the meeting will provide applicants more information on available assistance and eligibility requirements. So we will invite any entity that's interested in attending. For more information, they can contact our office at 318-2615. On the individual assistance portion of the recovery phase, which is the program that provides assistance to individuals and households, we still have the Disaster Recovery Center that is still open in Westaco, and that's located at 515 South Kansas. It's still open from Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and on Saturday from 9 to 2. They have currently seen between 35 to 40 residents a day and have seen roughly around 600 residents since the opening back in December, making that the busiest and the largest in the state currently. For an overall total, yes, sir. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. For an overall total, they've seen about 1,459 county residents, and FEMA has, excuse me, given out about $2.4 million in individual assistance. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Judge, Commissioners, we have no further participants.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, at this time, then, we will move on to item number 6B1 and 2. 6B1 is there depending on the feelings of the members of the court when we discuss 6B2. The issue involves an item that we took action on back on December the 15th, our last meeting, involving the auditor's office. Is Mr. Eufrasio here? At that time, you presented us with an order from the district judges for authorizing some salary increases in your department for the assistant auditors.
Correct.
And we didn't have the figures at that time, but we all realize what the law is, that whatever the district judges enter an order on, the amount, we're required to accept that order unless it exceeds the sum of 5% of as a salary increase. But since we didn't have the numbers, and it looks like about, which we now have this morning, it looks like at about over 90% of your employees, of the pay raises that you have given to your employees exceed the 5%. And I wanted to make sure that the court, that the members of the court were aware of the action, of the effect of the action that was taken, and whether or not now that the numbers have been provided, if they still wanted to abide by that action that was taken back on December the 15th. And the reason is these salaries, the way the order read, were to be effective immediately. I mean, beginning in January.
Correct.
And yet, at least I, and I'm sure other members of the court, partially acted on the salary increases that we have been talking about earlier this morning to the sheriff's deputies and other personnel, that based on your recommendation, you got up here and I remember very clearly said, we're one good rain from going under 10%.
Correct.
And that your recommendation was that we defer all salary increases until July, and we went ahead and said we would, although we would consider revisiting them after the first quarter in March or early April. Which
Judge,
we are
I don't think my recommendation was for a certain date. My recommendation was that you were already like $6-7 million in the hole, so I didn't think you had enough money to, or that if you were to give the 1.9, it was going to put you further in the hole. And I think there was some discussion and it was decided to
and
July,
that's
but,
why we acted on it.
right.
And we went ahead and deferred. We didn't give them any pay raises effective in January.
Correct.
But yet you were able to get your department, over 90% of the employees got an excess of the 5%, and got their pay raises effective in January. And I just didn't think it was fair to the other employees that we relied on your recommendations. And your recommendation was that all other salary increases be deferred until a later date, yet you were able to get and recommend that the employees in your department be treated differently. And that's what my concern is. I'm sure they're entitled to it, but to be treated differently, I just don't think is fair.
The only thing here I see, Judge, the COLA, cost of living will go to anybody. Anything over 3%, the 3% cost of living, that's the increase or what?
Yes.
Both. Both. We have the COLA and the additional.
Yeah, that's what he's got here, but everybody gets 3%, so that automatically.
Right, but not everybody's getting it till possibly April or July.
Not on the
COLA.
Yeah. Well, except, I guess, sanitation and parks for precinct 1.
Yeah.
But Judge, but bottom line, you acted on that order. And the law specifies the process by which the auditor's office staff gets a...
But you didn't give us a number.
The number was there. The information has always been there. That you didn't look at it or your staff didn't...
I look at the packet. The numbers were not there.
Yeah, same numbers. There's no difference in the numbers. They're the same numbers.
And I understand what the law requires us to do if we're confronted with a district court order.
Correct.
And so we acted on it.
Right.
But the fact that we didn't have any specific numbers, because I'm also aware of the law that says that if the numbers exceed a 5% increase, then we do have the right to rescind, act
to approve.
on it.
You have to approve it. You have to approve it, right?
And we went ahead and approved increases in 8.4%, 12.2%, 8.4%, 6.4%, and most of them, over 90%, were over 6%.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to make sure that the other members of the court were aware. I have my concerns. If I had known that this was the fact, that this was the amount of the increases, I wouldn't have voted to approve that order. I would have approved an order modified not to exceed the 5% that the law mandates us to do.
Yeah. But I don't think you can modify the order, because the order is the order. The only thing you can do is not approve the salary over the 5%. That's the only discretion that the Commissioner's Court has.
Sir.
Right. But the thing is, Judge, you approved the order. You accepted it and approved it December the 15th.
Wow.
After the beginning of the year, you cannot go back and modify salaries for the county auditor's office, because that's the authority that is given by law to the district judges. So it's a done deal.
No, it's not a done deal.
It is. I'm telling you.
Well, up to 5%, I agree with you, but not in excess of 5%.
How much would it save us if we would go back to 5%?
I think one of the points here is, though, that you come before this commission and you tell us about how unconservative we are and that we're doing this and we're doing that, and all of a sudden you sneak in an order without the numbers. You hold yourself, just because you can get this approved by the judges, which is fine, I understand the process, but you're telling us to be conservative and hold off on raises, and then you come back in December and you put in your raises above the 3% COLA. I mean, how can you... we look to you. You're the auditor. We're trying to make sure that we have a 10% or above. You come back and you criticize the whole process and tell us that we're doing anything wrong. But yet you on December come in and get these raises. I don't have a problem with them. I just don't understand how you can tell us on the bigger picture to do one thing or another, and then on your budget, just because it's approved by the judges, it comes in at a different number.
Yeah. Commissioner, let me clarify something. You said without numbers. The information that you had before you had it in December the 15th when you approved it. The fact that you didn't look at it...
We had the new numbers. We didn't have a comparison. We didn't have the last year's numbers. We had this year's numbers.
You always had those.
You left it to us to go back and look to see what the prior year numbers were so that we can do our own comparison, which we've done.
Right.
Now that we figured out that you had done raises. right? But we're, at least for me, I'm expecting the auditor, the most conservative person of this body, right?
And I am.
Exactly. Well, if you're telling us one thing, I think that we make the easy assumption that you're doing the same thing as what you're requiring everybody else to do.
How can you compare, I think there's been a $26,000 number kicked around. How can you compare $26,000 to 1 point something million dollars? I mean, that just
Well, but you
makes
can
no sense.
you can have a budget for, let's say, one of the district courts, right? And they may have a $26,000 number, but just like your budget, just like your little department, right? Different departments have different numbers, right? The sheriff has the biggest number.
Right.
But you have a smaller number than the sheriff, and then there may be another department with even smaller numbers. So you're going to say just because overall it's only 26,000 that it's acceptable? I think that if you're going to hold everybody to this standard, right, and that comes from the very smallest department at the county to the very biggest department, I think you should hold yourself to the same standard.
Well, if I can add,
I would think.
If I can add to that, in the spirit of last year's budget process, we had a will of the court to be conservative, to preserve a fund balance. We even, and I had a hard time, deferred the sheriff to wait for raises that are needed out there in our front line. Even elected officials deferred not to take even a COLA for the second time. And we were hoping that spirit would lead to all our leaders and all our department heads to say, hey, we have to be conservative. And I do. I looked over it, and I see the discrepancy, and I think everybody deserves a COLA. I think everybody deserves wages, fair wages for what they do. But the hard part about it is when there's a discrepancy between one department, or in this case would be the auditor's department, while we're having the frontline sheriff and his deputies defer to the first quarter, how we do for one and the other. And I understand you go through the Board of Judges, but I too have a problem with it to some regard. I wish that it was
just the principle of the thing.
Fair across the board. It's hard. It's a morale killer for most. I feel sorry for the sheriff deputies who are going to have to wait for after the first quarter to get an adjustment of what we promised years already for, as well as all the other departments. But
let's talk about fairness. County judge gave one employee, listen to what I'm saying, one employee $22,000, $500 pay raise. And yet I'm giving a couple dozen employees up to $26,000. To me, there's no way you can compare that.
Well,
and being fair and being conservative.
Well, I also look at that individual, and if I think we're going back to the individuals in student economic development.
Yeah, that's that one employee that always comes up.
That employee is charged with a duty to assure that.
No question. But,
I mean,
there's no question about that.
The pay merits the role, the job, the duty.
I don't think.
Same thing for my employees.
It's not free money.
Same thing for my employees. Every one of those individuals warrants the dollar amount.
But yes, we.
No, sorry.
Mr. Fracio, we all agree with that. I think all of us agree with the raises that you're giving. The problem is that we have a lot of raises out there that we're gonna wait on because we're trying to be conservative. You're telling us be careful with the 10%, and yet you sneak it in on December 15th with raises. It's not the amount. It's not the amount of money. We have a $200 million budget. This is a very small number in the total budget. But the guy that's telling us to be conservative comes in December 15th with raises. That's where I have a problem. Not with any of the work that your staff has done.
You had an opportunity on December the 15th to
that's not the issue. That's not the issue that we can't come back. If that's the case, that's fine.
I'm telling you that you cannot.
The problem is that you did it on December 15th.
Okay.
The problem is that what you did on December 15th. Whether we can come back or not, that's not the issue.
Right. No. But we already discussed that over and over. But you cannot adjust the salaries of the county auditor's office
missing the point.
Employees.
I guess you want to miss the point.
As a member of the ALS, we always support Mr. Fracio because he is conservative. But I agree, it's not right what you did. It's just not right. You can't do that under the cover of being the one that's conservative and trying to get this court to come down and hit a mark that's supposed to be safe, and then you can't do that. I mean, it's just not right. So now, if you allow them to adjust no more than 5% or whatever, that is an adjustment, but I think you said they could do that.
By law, they have the authority to
Yes,
do
well,
so.
at least that would be a bit more fair.
But they could have done that December the 15th, and they
Well,
didn't.
I know,
they didn't do
but
it.
that's
It's up
over
to
and
you.
done
It's
with.
up to you, no?
I don't think they realized you would do it because you had a very convincing argument to have them be very super conservative, so they were. And they took things away from the sheriff's department and stuff, with me speaking for that, but I never expected your department to come up and do this then. It's not right. Even though you got the power, and I understand the judge's stuff, which I know it's check and balance kind of, but anyhow, you got to let them at least adjust where it's more palatable.
I don't think it is.
2 points, just 2 points. I feel bad for the 18 or 19 courts that we have that ruled in the Board of Judges that they had to get this presented to them, and in the best interest of your employees, they went ahead and did this in December 15th. I feel bad for them because they probably didn't understand what they had in front of them, because they have employees too, and they themselves, some of them are going to get the 3%, and all of those people are going to wait till July to get that adjustment. So I feel bad for them. As for, ratifying, I think that we leave it as is, because he's fighting the issue of whether we can or cannot. He's missing the point that he should have been conservative, just like this commission, when he had the opportunity to do so. So he wants to fight about whether we can do this or not. I don't think that that's the issue at all. I think the issue is you hold us to be conservative, which I like. I want to be conservative too, but don't in the middle of December slip something in there and go against everything that this commission's doing.
It's up to you, but I don't think, in my opinion, based on my research of legal opinions from the AG's office and my reading of the statutes, that you can now adjust the salaries of the county auditor's office.
You are missing the point.
He's missing the point.
That's really a bigger.
No, but I'm just talking about what you're trying to do. I don't think it is legally possible for you to do what you're trying to do, rescind an action you took.
What we're trying to do is what you did.
Okay.
What you did back last year.
I think that everybody sees it, and I think that the judges will see this if they see this meeting, and I think that the employees and the board and the directors know exactly what happened. And to me, the point isn't correcting the issue. It is a small amount, and their people need it just as much as all the other people that we have waiting for that 3% COLA.
So, you got any other questions, Judge? Because I think we already.
Member of the court have a question. And
What if he accepts the 5% instead of all that? Will it be different, Judge? I mean,
no, we can't do anything below 5%.
No, 5, just exactly 5%.
Whatever the statute is.
Steve, can we modify it to that extent? The statute is very clear that anything over 5%, it's up to the commissioner's court.
The statute's clear, but what is also is difficult is that we're now into a different year. And the other problem is that usually in a different term of court, you can't go back and revise something you did in a prior term of court under the statutes. So I think being it's a different year, I'd have to look at Judge. I have some concerns about you acting now until I can.
That's what I'm trying to convey to you, Judge, that you can't do it now. You got to wait till next year to do that. It's already the beginning of the year, and you can't go back and adjust. It's a violation of the local government code.
Judge, I feel fine leaving it as is. I think that the point has been made, and the fact that he doesn't understand it is not our problem. I think that everybody understands, both in watching and in the audience, of what we have to deal with.
Well, the other thing,
Mr. Ofracio, we're not through yet. Okay. Commissioners, anybody else have any?
Well, it's like Commissioner Cantu says, I mean, we can't.
It's just a principle thing. It's just bottom line at the end of the deal. You got, I guess the sheriff's got about 800 employees, and they all get a raise, but of course it's going to be more than when you got, 20 or 30 employees. Just.
May I speak yet?
Briefly.
Just very briefly, not 100% of the same tone that Virginia just spoke, although we're all very good friends together. I'm a CPA. I was a general partner in Pete Marwick Mitchell, the largest firm in the country. And the thing I want to emphasize is the importance of the independence of the auditor. He in no way should be accountable to you people for any of his actions. If he was in accord with the law, I don't think he should be chastised, perhaps the way it has been here. So I'd just like to counterbalance when Virginia said that Virginia says that's wrong. It's not within our scope, nor I think yours, to criticize the auditor. That's all.
He's on point, Judge. I see this, what you're trying to do as a retaliation, and that's outside the bounds.
Mr. O'Flynn,
it's outside the bounds.
Retaliation,
yeah,
sir.
It is.
You know, here we are relying on you because of your position, because of your experience, your background. You come in, you make a statement, and we take it into consideration and we act on it.
I commend you for that, Judge.
And yet, at the same time, you're out there and, I guess there's no other way to describe it. You sneaked in an increase in your department that it was for about 90 to 95% of your employees.
I guess we were to blame, Judge. We should have put used a different, how do you call it? Maybe, say that not to exceed 5%.
Yeah, that would have been, if you had made a motion to that effect,
yeah,
then you would be, but Judge, listen to what your legal counsel is telling you. You cannot legally do what you want to do.
We cannot. He says he's concerned.
Well, concerned. You think if he wasn't concerned, he would say, "Go ahead."
But he doesn't have the statutes or the books there with it.
Well, give him a chance to review them and bring back.
Let me ask you this, Eufrasio. Yes, you answered to a different board, and I understand that. I'm completely understand that.
Okay.
How do you feel it's okay to get your COLA now, while we have everybody else wait?
Every one of those individuals deserve, Commissioner, to get the pay raise. See,
and not the other ones? All the other employees? All the other 5,000 employees don't?
Some of them are getting 17% increase.
Don't miss the point. I'm just talking about the people that are getting a COLA.
But
why do your employees get a COLA and not everybody else?
Let me explain something. Because of the statute, how the salaries are supposed to be set up, I only have the chance to modify salaries from office once a year. But once they're set by the order, I gotta wait till next year. You guys don't have the same restriction. You guys can change your salaries to your employees anytime you want. And that's the problem that I have. It's something that you don't understand. That I cannot come in here and say I'm going to change it. I could, but I had to go get another meeting. And
we're not going to take any action at this point.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I just want to clarify on the cost of living. Everybody will be receiving the cost of living. It's going to be on those increases above the 3% that have been deferred right now till July 1st. Possibly they might be done a little bit further, but
thank you, sir.
Those increases.
All right. Yes, sir. Item number 6, D as in David.
And they miss it in the front row.
Yeah, they did. Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Michael Leal, County Judge's Office, Economic Development. 6D is discussion and approval of amendment to guidelines and criteria for granting tax abatements in Hidalgo County, Texas, under Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code, and the approved order on the same. We actually brought this last at the last meeting in December. The reason it's necessary is because we have to have guidelines to enter into tax abatement agreements. On the wind farm project, the county was actually able to negotiate, through direction of the court, we were able to negotiate terms less than what the company actually would have been entitled to under our guidelines. We went back and forth, we went low to the benefit of the county. So in order to allow for that, we had to amend the guidelines. When the court approved this item last month, the statute actually requires a vote of 3/4 of the members of the governing body. At the time, we had 3/5. So even though it was unanimous, we needed the required number of members present. So at this time, we're asking for your approval.
We need four?
At least 4 present for the vote.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
That's correct, Steve, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Moving on. Because the amended guidelines were not in place, we went and approved subsequent tax abatement agreements, and we needed the actual amended guidelines in place. So these are the following items. 6E is to request approval to rescind action taken on 12/15/2015 on amendment to the tax abatement agreement between Hidalgo County and Hidalgo Wind Farm LLC Phase 1 and tax abatement agreement between Hidalgo County and Hidalgo Wind Farm LLC, Phase 2, and approve order on the same. So we're sending the action from last month so we can do it again now with the amended guidelines in place.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Correct. The abatement stays the same. This doesn't change anything. We just needed the actual amended guidelines in place. Item 2, now that we have the amended guidelines in place. Item 2 is discussion and approval of tax abatement agreement between Hidalgo County and Hidalgo Wind Farm Phase 2 and approve order on the same.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And item 3 is discussion and approval on amendment to tax abatement agreement effective 12/22/2014 between Hidalgo County and Hidalgo Wind Farm LLC Phase 1 and approve order on the same. That's the original abatement agreement that we had to amend.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
All right. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
I think he has one more.
I'm sorry, yes. Actually, item 6F, we're taking no action at this time. We're bringing it back to the next meeting.
All right. Thanks. And our item 7.
I'll go ahead and do that one, Judge. Item 7, it's an appropriation for the District Attorney's Office. They're asking to appropriate their 2016 funds out of Fund 1256 in the amount of $20,500, and that would be to fund operating expenditures.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 8. Constable Precinct 1.
Mr. Thomas.
Good morning, gentlemen, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Agenda item 52718, authorization and approval to accept the local border security program FY 2016, 30,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Authorization for county judge as authorized official to electronically sign a grant award for the related documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Authorization to pay overtime reimbursed under the grant and terms and conditions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the local border security program FY 2016.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And approval to appropriate the budget for LBS 16 grant award in the amount of $30,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Item 8B. Constable Precinct 2.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. I'm Jennifer Rosillo. I'm a deputy with the Constables, Martin Cantu, Precinct 2. I'll be presenting 8B, number 1, authorization and approval to accept the local border security program fiscal year 2016 grant LBS P16.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 2, authorization for county judge as authorized official to electronically sign grant award form and related documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 3, authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 4, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the local border security program, fiscal year 2016 LBS P16.
Move for approval.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 5, approval to appropriate the budget for LBS P16 grant award in the amount of $30,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Precinct 3. Constable.
Judge, Commissioners, today we're asking for authorization and approval to accept local border security program LBSP for 16 grant number 2998901.
Move for approval.
Authorization for the county
Those in
judge.
favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Sorry. Authorization for the county judge to, as authorized official to electronically sign award forms and related documents.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Authorization to pay reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Approval for certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the local border security program, FY 2016 LBSP 16.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Approval to appropriate the budget for LBSP 16 grant award in the amount of $80,000.
Approve. Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Judge, with your permission, the commissioners all present item D for Constable Precinct 4. It is on the same issue. LBSP fiscal year 16, that is Fund 1284 for the constable. First is authorization approval to accept the local border security program fiscal year 2016 grant, which would be the LBSP 16.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Second is authorization for our county judge as authorized official to electronically sign grant award from form and related documents.
Move for approval. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Third request is authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Next action item would be the approval of certification of revenues as certified by our county auditor for the local border security program fiscal year 2016, again, the LBSP-16.
Move for approval. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
The last action item would be to appropriate the budget for the LBSP fiscal year 16 grant award in the amount of $65,000.
Approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 9 has been acted on, Judge, and item 12 as well.
All right. Let's move on.
Item 10, I'm sorry.
Okay. Item 11.
Item 11A, asking the court approval to designate proxies for the Metropolitan Planning Organization Policy Board, and as well as to submit the necessary forms. Judge, Commissioners, what we've done in the past is we have a designee, and then we have an alternate and 3 proxies. And so I'm asking for an alternate to the Metropolitan Planning Organization Transportation Policy Committee. Commissioner, you are our designee, and that, who would you like as an alternate?
I believe I asked Commissioner Eddie Cantu to act as an alternate.
Okay, alternate,
If
and
the
then
court's okay with that.
No problem.
and there are 3 proxies.
And the proxies, we included the judge's office. Judge, we asked Bobby Villar out of your office, as
Sure.
well as Mr. Leo to be the 2
second.
alternates, and the third one would be Jesse Ozuna out of my office,
Okay.
representing as
Move
much
for approval.
as possible.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B,
If I just may comment, obviously Commissioner Flores sat on the board for quite some time. We'd like to have a monthly agenda item to talk about some of the voting items, some of the important items that we're obviously addressing on the MPO, and I want to make sure that we address it to the court prior to meeting so that we can get some guidance from the full court as opposed to it just being an independent decision from myself or an attendee, so that we can stay uniform with what we believe is in the best interest of the county. So we'll follow up with an agenda item as we're going through in preparation to some of the meetings so that we can have full
Makes sense.
representation.
Very good, sir.
Okay, Judge. Thank you.
Item C, Judge Commissioners, under item 11, is discussion regarding going up the Chisholm Trail Historical Marker Reestablishment Project. There is a request for a marker to be placed on the courthouse grounds. There is a formal process. There is an approval form that goes to the Texas Department of Transportation. We have looked at the area that they are proposing. It does not impede in any way the traffic to and from the east side entrance of the courthouse. So in looking at all the, in looking at the area and the factors involved, I'm asking the court to take positive action in authorizing a historical marker to be placed at the courthouse.
Where would it be located?
It would be as you're going up into the entrance of the courthouse. It would be just right if you're going
On the east side?
on the east side. If you're traveling east, I would say it's about maybe about 30 feet, 40 feet from the entrance on the left-hand side. It's just right next to the artist,
memorial?
our memorial, just off to the side of the memorial.
Okay.
As people are going up, they'll be able to see the marker.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Our second action item, I'd like authority for our county judge to sign the forms authorizing Texas Department of Transportation to coordinate the approval of an official Texas historical marker to be placed on the public rights of way. Again, this would be on our courthouse grounds.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And item C is discussion, consideration, action regarding agreement between County of Hidalgo and Lynn San Manuel Volunteer Fire Department. Judge Commissioners, we do have an agreement in place, and there was a language error that was corrected. I have communicated back to the auditor's office that the language error would be fixed, and it has been updated on our agenda. So I am asking the court to take positive action with respect to an agreement between the County of Hidalgo and the Lynn San Manuel Volunteer Fire Department to take care of the service area to the north of the county.
Move for approval.
Second.
Correction. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item E is, and everything is attached to the agenda, is the approval of the L County Library System bylaws.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item F, I'm asking the court to accept the settlement agreement offer from the Office of Attorney General in the amount of $4,000. This will settle an auto accident claim with one of our county vehicles.
So moved.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
I'm asking the court authority for myself to sign the release and indemnity agreement form and any other documents to settle the auto claim with the Office of Attorney General.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, as we do almost every year, there is a request by the Museum of South Texas History to use the county parking lots near the museum for the use by visitors to the museum for the following events for the year of 2016. The first event would be Saturday, February 20th from 9 to 5. Second would be Thursday, June 9th and the 30th. And July 14th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The third would be Saturday, October 8th from 5:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. Saturday, October 29th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And Sunday, December 11th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. With respect to those dates and that request, it would be for Pioneer and Ranching Craft Days, Summer Nights at the Museum, Fandango 2016, Dia de los Muertos, and Fiesta de Nochebuena, respectively.
Move for approval.
Second.
Do they need to have a certificate of insurance?
Yes, with all appropriate insurances in place.
All right.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge, I believe item 12 has been acted on, so has all of 12 has been acted, if I'm mistaken.
14A.
Item 13 has been acted on, and so...
We're at the fire marshal's
we have our
office.
fire... Well...
Item 14.
Yes, item 14.
A.
That's correct.
Me.
No, 14A.
There's no B, Judge.
I didn't want to tell you that because of the look back.
Where? Morning, Judge, Commission. The discussion and approval for the following 2016 rural emergency services for interlocal agreement with the Lynn San Manuel Fire Department Incorporated and the Monte Alto Fire Department. The reason for this item is going to be the clarification on the action taken December 1st. This is to clarify these entities' names as the Lynn San Manuel Fire Department Incorporated and the Monte Alto Volunteer Fire Department.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Urban County. Diana?
Good morning.
Good morning. Item 15, Urban County.
Yes, sir. Before I begin, I'd like to follow up with Dr. Adams' concern regarding La Blanca Road. Just wanted to let the court know that in December we executed a contract for the engineer, so we'll be getting that work started soon.
Awesome.
Okay, item 15A is on behalf of the City of Hidalgo requesting approval of an extension of the
Whenever you
90-day.
have good news and you're in the audience,
I'm sorry?
you may want to get up there and open the forum and explain it.
Jump in front of the bullet.
But I wanted to make sure it was part of the record that we were doing it. And I did speak with her about it, and I did tell her that Commissioner had it in the work plan since early January 15th.
Okay.
Okay, on behalf of the City of Hidalgo, requesting approval of extension of the 90-day bid expiration for the bids received September 9th, 2015 from Econ Group LLC.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 15B is also on behalf of the City of Hidalgo, requesting consideration and action to award and enter into construction contract with Econ Group LLC in the amount of $1,895,044 using Urban County funding from years 23, 24, 25, and 26 for the non-residential historic preservation line items will be used, for historic preservation line items as well as funding from the City of Hidalgo. The City of Hidalgo will be providing approximately $900,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item C is on behalf of the City of Westlaco requesting authority to purchase playground equipment for Cavazos Park. Purchase and installation will be made from Park Place Recreation Designs, contract number 42313, and approved vendor through Hidalgo County membership and participation with Board. The amount of this purchase is $47,387.55, utilizing the City of Westlaco Parks and Recreation line item as well as City of Westlaco General Fund Park
Move for approval.
funds.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
D is on behalf of the City of San Juan requesting approval of the best and final negotiated contract for professional engineering services with Cruz Hogan Consultants in the amount of $24,240 for the San Juan Water and Sewer Improvement Project.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E is on behalf of Precinct 1 requesting approval from Hidalgo County Commissioners Court to enter into an interlocal cooperation agreement with the City of Edcouch for the overlaying of streets in the amount of $268,322.20, utilizing the year 2014 funding.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And our final item is E2, requesting authorization for the county judge to sign the required documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. 16, our elections office. Nothing. 17, our planning department.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners.
Morning.
TJ Arredondo for the record. We have 5 subdivisions for preliminary approval. We have Jeca subdivision in Precinct 3. It's a 1-lot subdivision. Eduardo's number 13 subdivision in Precinct 3. It's a 72-lot subdivision. M. Solis subdivision in Precinct 1. It's a 2-lot subdivision. And JOA subdivision in Precinct 2. It's a 2-lot subdivision. These are all residential. We're recommending approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
We have 1 subdivision with final approval with financial guarantee. It's a 119-lot subdivision. It's Pueblo de Palmas number 17 in Precinct 4 with a letter of credit in the amount of $416,240. We're recommending approval as well.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And finally, we have 2 reimbursements for financial guarantees for septic tanks. David Garza subdivision, Precinct 3, it's $1,500. And Tierra de Santa Cruz subdivision, Precinct 4, $22,500. We're recommending approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Precinct 1.
Morning, Judge,
Morning.
Commissioners. Commissioner Cuellar is recommending approval to appoint Mark McCaleb to the Emergency Services District Number 1 Board pursuant to the Texas Health and Safety Code Section 775034. Frank McCaleb used to be on this board for quite a few years. As a matter of fact, he initiated this board back in the 80s. He passed on, and the board is recommending his son to take over, which is Mark McCaleb.
Motion approved.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 19, Precinct 2.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners.
Morning, sir.
Item 19A, approval of economically disadvantaged county program application and affidavit for the Regional Hike and Bike Trail. That's CSJ 0921-02-346 with the authority for the county judge to sign all required documentation.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 19B is approval of closing documents and authority for the county judge to execute documents for Lot 2, Block 21 of the floodway levee in Far Texas for the McCall Road project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Yeah.
Okay. Bien, ahí, amigo.
You're going to get a retirement party, Mingo.
Wait, did we get, Jesse, do you have one there?
Oh, you have one? Okay.
Hey, you'll beat me.
We already did 21A. 21B, approval of amended restatement of that the certain interlocal cooperation agreement between County of Hidalgo and City of Edinburgh, Texas concerning certain improvements to FM 1925 from McCall Road to 1,500 feet west of 10th Street.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
21B2, in accordance with Texas Government Code Section 791.014, approval of proposed project regarding certain improvements to FM 1925 from McCall Road to 1,500 feet west of 10th Street.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Thank
Motion
you.
carries.
Ahora sí.
Morning, Judge Commissioner, Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 22B, 1 and 2, is approval of the revised Title 4E Child Welfare Service Grant with authority for the county judge also to sign the required documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 22C1 is approval to correct salary schedule discrepancies adopted during the budget process as listed in Exhibit A, which will be effective on 1/1/2016. There was two slot number corrections, a title correction, and then one budgeted salary correction. There's no effect to the general fund, and then there's a $4,000 increase on the road and bridge.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 22C2 is approval of the interdepartmental transfers.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
There's no transfer attached, or? Okay, for the 4,000, there was, apologize, no action on item C2.
You gotta rescind the action.
Send the vote.
I rescind my motion.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 22C3 is approval to revise the salary schedule in accordance with the Commissioner's Court action.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Happy New Year to all.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
We're off to a good start, and may we be blessed for the rest of the year.
Looks good on you.
Thank you. I want to see if they have more fun. On item 23A1, presentation of scoring grid for the purpose of ranking by Commissioners Court. The statements of qualifications responses received in connection with requests for qualifications for professional independent audit services. We had 9 firms request packets. 4 firms submitted. You have the scoring grid in front of you. Patillo, Brown and Hill, or Patillo, Brown and Hill, 93.14. Burton, Bercumber, and Cortez at 96.57. Long Chilton LLP at 93.86. And Bell Harris Pachesek LLP at 91.43. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their numeric scores?
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Authority for Purchasing Department to commence negotiations with the number 1 ranked participant, and that would be Burton, McCumber, and Cortez.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements. Texas Local Government Code 262-024A7, an item that can only be obtained from one source.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
D is requesting a approval of a sole source declaration for our communications for the service of broadcasting of Commissioners Court meetings, with said service to remain in effect unless revoked by Commissioners Court or terminated under provision on page 4 of the contract, section 16.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And just for your information, I was asked yesterday if we can get the execution of the document today on the part of our communications. I believe we can probably commence this Thursday, which I think is the date that's required for the airing of those rebroadcasts. Item 3, this is presentation of the sealed quotes received for the purpose of award and approval of contract document to the responsible vendor submitting the lowest and best quote while meeting all specifications and/or requirements. And this is for healthcare reform employee tracking consultant. We had 3 quotes, as I said, distributed. We had 1 response. That is eligibility tracking calculators is who we're recommending.
Move for approval.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
On number 4, we're presenting the sole responsible vendor submitting the lowest and best bid, meeting all specifications and/or requirements for the purpose of award and approval of contract. And this is for the request for bids titled Turnkey Burial Services, including cemetery plots, for the unidentified pauper remains through the project number 009 for 2016. And this is we had 9 packets requested and distributed, 1 sole bid, and that was Mid Valley Cemetery Incorporated, DBA Valverde Memorial Gardens. That's who we're recommending for award.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
For Precinct 1, B1, authority to advertise and approval of the plans and specifications packet developed by the project engineer, Sames Incorporated, for 2 Hidalgo Precinct 1 projects, those being paving and drainage improvements from mile west 10 north to 12 north, and paving and drainage improvements from mile 12, FM 1015 to 2 west.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
For Precinct 3, this is pursuant to the current contract with LNG, Article 14, a request for approval by the engineer.
Is that 3 or 2?
2.
I'm sorry, Precinct 2, I apologize. And that's for Precinct 2, to permit the subcontracting of ROW Surveying Services, LLC, in connection with Work Authorization 3 for the Precinct 2 Regional Linear Park Project.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2, acceptance and approval of request for purchase of a subsite with the annual hosting and support of the subsite and a custom mobile app with setup and annual fee, including any future hardware, software maintenance, technical support, updates, upgrades, licenses, etc. for with Civic Plus, and this is under requisition number 288959, with authority for the county judge or designee to execute the agreement.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And as the agenda shows, the total amount for that purchase is $15,450. Item D is for Precinct 3. This is 1, discussion and applicable action in connection with the current contract between county and ProMedic, including but not limited to the following options. As we are aware, we did receive through the county State Department of Health a notice that our current contractor, ProMedic, was precluded from providing services and were suspended. The first option would be to permit the current agreement with ProMedic to expire on February the 18th, while the due process is exercised by the State of Texas Department of Health. That being a hearing that I believe that the vendor is entitled to through the State Department of Health on the issue of the suspension. That would be one option.
Judge, Commissioners, I believe the best option is A.
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 Okay, I move for approval on A.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
This would permit, under their current agreement, that all of the services, there's no lapse. They are required to have a backup provider, which has already been in place since we received this notice almost 2 weeks ago. And so therefore, that's what I wanted to bring your attention. There would be no lapse in services. Okay, so item B is no action, because that would be enlisting one of your options under the contract. And number 3 is presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking and award of contract of the proposals received for emergency ambulance services for those unincorporated areas in Precinct 3, and is further described and detailed in the packet that was distributed. We had we have the 3 services that the 3 providers that submitted, ProMedic being one with an average score of 92.25, EMS 97.5. I think it's called Hidalgo County EMS. Medcare. Pardon me. EMS is 77.50, and Hidalgo County EMS at 94.75. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Motion approved.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And D would be authority to negotiate a final emergency ambulance services contract with commencing with the number 1 ranked firm of Hidalgo County EMS, and that would become effective upon the expiration of the current agreement, which would be
Those in
February the
favor say
19th.
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Going on to item E1, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A4, a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B is presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court of those graded and evaluated from our county's pool of engineering firms. And this is for professional engineering services for project FM 1925 from 1,500 feet west of FM 2220, which is Ware Road, to 10th Street, located in Precinct 4. Building Transportation Infrastructure Incorporated, DBA called BTI at 95, DBR Engineering Consultants Incorporated 94, and LNG at 97. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Second. Those in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries.
Authority for the Purchasing Department to commence negotiations with the number 1 ranked firm of LNG to provide those services required for FM 1925 from 1,500 feet west of FM 2220, Ware Road, to 10th Street, located in Precinct 4.
Move for approval. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item D, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements, Texas Local Government Code 262-024A4, a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court. Those engineering firms, there were the 3 that were nominated under the previous action item, but this is for Project Mile 5 from Taylor Road to FM 2220, which is Ware. That would be BTI at 95, DBR Engineering at 94, and LNG at 97. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item F would be to permit the Purchasing Department to commence negotiations for that project named in item E with the number 1 ranked firm of LNG.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item F, this is Colonia Access Program for Precinct 3, presentation for discussion, consideration, and action on a recommendation by project engineer Javier Hinojosa Engineering to award to the lowest bidder meeting all specifications, and that would be MJA Construction in the amount of $176,801 for bid number 359. This is for road and drainage construction of Havana Lomas Subdivision 4. We had 5 packets distributed. 5 packets were received. 4 were through, of the 5 packets distributed, 4 were through Hidalgo County's Purchasing Department, and 1 was through the plan room, which is the engineer. I need action.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2 is presentation on the same recommendation from the project engineer, Javier Hinojosa. This was for the lowest bidder, 2GS LLC, in the amount of $78,125, and this is for bid number 360, and this is for Havana Loma Subdivision number 5.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
On item G1 for Sheriff's Office, acceptance and approval of termination notice submitted by current contracted vendor NTC Drug Testing Services Incorporated in connection with agreement number 240 for the purpose of drug testing collection services on an as-needed basis for the Sheriff's Office.
Move to approve.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B, I'm asking for ratification of the publication by myself, the purchasing agent, to advertise due to time constraints and in order to avoid any lapse in services due to the short notice on the termination and closing of the MTC Drug Testing Services Incorporated, a request for bids that was published for the Sheriff's Office for those drug testing services.
Move to approve.
Thank you.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2 is presentation of the bids received for the purposes of award of the responsible vendor submitting the lowest and best bids. While meeting all the specifications, there were 19 requested bids distributed. 2 were received. We are recommending and concurring with the Sheriff's recommendation of the Center for Industrial Rehab Services.
Move to approve.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item H is for
Marty, before you go forward, I sent email back early this morning to your office.
That's on the next item.
Okay.
That's on the next one. Yes, this is countywide. This is for the Human Resources Department and Safety. This is acceptance of the same termination notice received from NTC Testing Services in connection with their contract, giving us notice that they are closing their business. That's H1A.
Move to approve.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And B would be ratification of that ad that I did post for the same reasons as given in the prior to avoid any lapse in service. So we had a special bid opening yesterday on that, and we published in the Monitor.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Now, on this item, Mr. Crane is correct. There were 17 packets distributed. 4 bids were received. 3 could only be considered. We are recommending that the county take action to award subject to his final approval and it was on the legal name of which Ms. Science has returned you what we have received, but we be subject to compliance with legal's final approval of that document and all accord insurances.
Do you need action on that?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. That is all I have.
Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you so much on behalf of all the employees of the county, especially mine, that you all did see fit that we could start the COLA effective. It helps. Every bit helps our employees who are hardworking and sometimes maligned unjustly. They work hard. They are proud of what they do, and we do make a difference every day, as minute as it might be, to helping a vendor try to get a bill paid, to these types of emergencies. So on behalf of everyone, I wish to thank you for that action that you took
Thank
today.
you.
And we're proud of you all too.
Thank you.
At this time, pursuant to 551-071 and 072, need a motion to proceed to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Will be in executive
Bingo.
session. We're back in open session. The entire court is present. Mr. Guerra.
Thank you, Judge. Let me just get the open session item. Under item I'm sorry, under
He's lost.
Oh, I'm one page off, I'm sorry. It's just back in regular. Under open session 26A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same, there is no action at this time. 26B, pending and or potential litigation, there is no action at this time. Under 26C, Joel Cáceres and Demi Cáceres versus the County of Hidalgo Judge Commissioners. This was a claim that has turned into a lawsuit. The claim was we were being represented under the claim by Atlas and Hall, and so for purposes of this action item, as it is now a lawsuit, I want to go back to item 25. requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, Section 262024884, professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation. I could have a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 25B, requesting engagement with the firm of Atlas Hall and Rodriguez for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation and authority to submit a letter of engagement, again specific to the claim that is now turned into a lawsuit, Joel Cáceres and Debbie Cáceres versus County of Hidalgo.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 26D, civil action number 15 CV 00477, Pedro Garcia Jr. versus County of Hidalgo, Texas et al. Judge Commissioners, refer back to item 25, requesting exemption from the competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, Section 262024884, a professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 25B, requesting engagement with the firm of Atlas Hall and Rodriguez for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation and authority to submit a letter of engagement specific to civil action number 15 CV 00477, Pedro Garcia Jr. versus Hidalgo County, Texas et al.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 26E, civil action number 15 CV 435, Gregorio Trevino Jr. versus Hidalgo County, Texas et al. Again, Judge Commissioners, referring back to item 25, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, Section 262024884, a professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
25B, requesting engagement with the firm of Atlas Hall and Rodriguez for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation and authority to submit a letter of engagement specific to civil action number 15 CV 435, Gregorio Trevino Jr. versus Hidalgo County, Texas et al.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 26F, civil action number 714 CV 00201, Nita L. Laboud, individually and as personal representative of the estate of Paul William Laboud, decedent versus County of Hidalgo et al. Judge Commissioners, for disclosure purposes and for the record, I'm asking the court to accept a settlement of this case by our insurance carrier.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 26G, claim of R. Gutierrez Engineering Corporation, Judge Commissioners, referring back to item 25, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, Section 262024884, a professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
25B, requesting engagement with the firm of Atlas Hall and Rodriguez for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation and authority to submit letter of engagement specific to item 26G, claim of R. Gutierrez Engineering Corporation.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 26H, claim of Jose Sandoval Hernandez, Judge Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $1,368.90.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
For the record, Judge Commissioners, the $1,368.90 would include property damage and VI. Next one would be item I, 26I, claim of Pedro Bautista Perez. Judge Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $58.84.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 26J, claim of Gabriela Ventura. Judge Commissioners, I would like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $12,500. For the record, if accepted, the check would be made payable to Gabriela Ventura and the Almaraz Law Firm.
So moved.
Those
Second.
in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 26K, claim of San Juanita Herrera. Judge Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $115.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Claim of Jose Escalante. Judge Commissioners, I would like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $3,000. If accepted, the $3,000 offer would be for property damage and bodily injuries.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 26M, claim of Olondra Marroquin. Judge Commissioners, I would like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $50.
Move for approval.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 26N, claim of Leonel Gutierrez. Judge Commissioners, I would like to make a settlement offer in the amount of $1,045.55.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And item 26O, claim of Margarita Castañeda. Judge Commissioners, I'd like to make an settlement offer in the amount of $600.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, our next Commissioners Court session, again, we will be back on our regular rotation, but our next Commissioners Court session will be on January 19th. January 19th.
In other words, 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now, yes, sir.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.